Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Breakfast with Roger and Friends on WAZU, FM 90.7 in Peoria, and also on YouTube. And speaking of YouTube, special thanks to Chris Buckley. We had a little technical problems, and Chris is our go-to guy, a super nice guy, and he knows what he's doing. And thank you kindly, Chris, for putting us on the air. In the meantime, I want to say good morning to part of the Fearsome Foursome this morning, and we have Dr. Gene Sidler. Good morning, Gene.
Good morning, everyone.
And Mike Dentino, all the way from Ohio.
Yeah, by way of Marshall County.
Yeah, we've got to get that in.
Good morning.
And Terry Grawey. Good morning, gentlemen. All. You know, it's fun listening to your conversation this morning because everybody, except yours truly, by design, but everybody has been somewhere in the last few days.
Everybody's got to do
Gene, you were in Cincinnati with your son
Last weekend,
and you just got back from Ohio, where
Right.
you were released from the penitentiary for
Yes.
now.
It was a short-term
Sentence, was it?
sentence, yeah.
No, and Terry, you've been traveling, but you also were planning, I guess, to go to Florida, where you have this plantation you bought that was undernourished or malnourished or whatever. All of you, of course, are much younger than I am. Aren't you reaching the point where travel is not as appealing as it once was? Like you, Gene?
yeah.
You've done a lot of traveling. I mean, every year you used to go to Arizona for
Last few
spring
years,
training.
Florida, because we got the grandkids who prefer beaches and amusement parks.
Yes.
Big surprise.
Over sand and gravel of Arizona. And Mike, you've got relatives
Yeah.
scattered all over the world.
Well, you know, anytime they need to have a light bulb changed, I get a call.
Yeah.
But we don't have a ladder.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll send one by FedEx and
Yeah.
see what you can do for that matter. And Terry, you just bought a piece of property at Niceville, Florida, and you've been doing work down there with the thought. Did you buy it to put it up for sale? In other words, flip it? Because the way you described it, it was a piece of property that was a piece of
rough.
another word for it, but yeah.
Well, I was gonna sell it, but I think we're gonna keep it. We kind of like it. We're gonna sell some other stuff.
It must be nice to say,
Well,
I'm going to keep it and I'll sell something else,
Well.
like your house in Peoria.
No, I've got
Some holdings.
couple condos down there.
Yeah. Oh, really? A couple of them, huh? All right. You know, there is money in real estate, and my
don't
dad
make
taught
anymore.
that to me at a very young age. You know, he came to Peoria with like 15 years of age, maybe 16, with just less than $1 in his pocket, with a bag of barber tools. And he was able to buy them by signing shoes in a barber shop in Sullivan, Illinois. And during their off times, they taught him, the barbers, how to cut hair. And with that, because he had a home that was kind of broken, father couldn't support them, he grabbed a boxcar and came to Peoria, a freight train, and slept in a boxcar in a siding in Bartonville. And a guy on Borland had a shop, and he went to him and he said, could I cut hair? And of course the guy kind of chuckled and so forth, but he showed him what he could do. And he said, I'll tell you what, son, I'll give you the key and you can open the shop on Sunday, and any hair that you cut, you keep. And that's how he got started.
Wow.
And finally had enough money to get a room at the Julian Hotel. You know where the Julian Hotel is?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember, yes, when it went out of business, they had a sale, and I bought some furniture from the
You're
jewelry.
kidding,
Yeah.
really? Oh, I wish I had known that. No, Kim, because sometimes riding in my dad's car, we would go by the Julian Hotel, which is on South Adams, across from Dozer Park, and I think they demolished it, didn't
Yes,
they?
it's long gone. Yes.
Oh, wow. But he would point to a window of the hotel on, I don't know, what was it, a 4-story?
Something like that, I
Something.
think.
And he said that was my first room, and that's where I slept and lived until I had enough money to
There was a gorgeous,
Had a foyer or a lobby that was beautiful.
yeah, and there was one of the units was beautiful. Carl Gideon lived there. He
You
owned
mean
the-
of the Gideon Bible?
No, he owned the Club Peorian.
Oh, I don't think that was to be the Gideon Bible.
Yeah, no.
No.
So the Club Peorian. It was a hop.
It was
joint.
a hot, you bet.
That was
it on South Adams?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but kind of catty corner, not too far from the Julian. And he had a beautiful apartment that he lived in up there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
One of the hottest businesses, in addition to the Julian Hotel and the Club Peorian, was the Flamingo Club. Do any of you remember the Flamingo Club?
do.
It was owned by Nick Shalikas, and it was known for two things. One, they had great billiard tables in the back of the bar, and they had terrific pizza, one of the best pizza places in town during that era. Which, by the way, reminds me, what was your favorite pizza joint as you were growing up?
Well, I mean, I've got for me, it's only one, and then the second place is not too far away from it, but Agatushi's first.
Yeah.
And then Shakey's.
And then Shakey's.
On University?
On University, yeah.
Yeah, I can't figure out why that place went belly up, because it was popular, particularly for
yeah.
noon lunches. Outstanding. Gene, you remember, of course, you grew up in Lansing,
Yeah, I
but
didn't grow
you
up
were a
here.
Bradley student. I'm sure you bought pizza at one time or another.
Actually, I did. I preferred across the street on the east side of University was La Hood's Pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
sure.
many people remember that because they remember Avanti's on the other
Avanti's
side.
on the other side.
And
right.
I really liked La Hood's Pizza. Very thin crust, very
Yeah.
very
That
tasty
became La
sausage.
Gondola.
Yeah, it became, well, he started
Richard
the
La Hood.
La Gondola chain.
Yeah, and it's
after that
still
closed down.
alive and well. We have one in Morton. There's one in Washington, I believe.
Big one in
for that
Washington,
matter. What was your favorite pizza place
You know,
growing up now, not
I
today?
can't remember. There was down on the south end. Oh shoot!
Palmer House?
No,
That was a hot spot on the
no,
south
I
side.
can't remember. And I'm not. Now, the more I think about it, I'm not sure if it wasn't chicken or pizza.
Well, there is a difference.
yeah, a little bit. Huh?
Yeah. I'm surprised none
Fry
of
me
you.
up some pizza.
What's yours?
I'm surprised none of you mentioned Davis Brothers. Davis Brothers.
I never
was-
liked Davis
You never did.
Brothers. No.
Okay. All right.
I mean,
Well, it was
it's not
popular.
rated.
Well, but they were in Pekin, weren't they? They weren't.
No, they were East Peoria.
No,
Yeah,
East
yeah.
Peoria, big in East Peoria.
Yeah.
It's where the Starbucks is now in East Peoria, out in front
Oh,
of the
right.
Elevate trampoline place there.
Right.
We had a pizza place on Abington, the street that runs in front of Glen Oak Park on Abington and Perry. I think it was called Pizza Delight, and it was big. Speaking of pizza, I ordered one from a well-known national company in Morton, and it was the worst pizza. And my son and his wife said that, and they bought it, by the way, and they said something was wrong in whoever made it, because normally Domino's is pretty good.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to mention
Don't mention
the name, but
the lousy place.
let's run the tape back and say. But to test them, a week or so later, we ordered a smaller version just to see if it was an anomaly, and it was.
Have
it
you,
was
have
very
you
good.
ever the frozen pizza? I found.
I
one-
like Butch's Pizza for the frozen.
They're very good, but I found one. It's a cauliflower crust.
Cauliflower.
Yeah, and they're real thin, and they crisp up. They get very, very crispy.
Well, they make a flour out of the cauliflower.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then a
No
dough
kidding.
from that, and then they make the
And
Do you
pizza.
feel like you're eating something healthy
Well,
if
you don't
call
know
it
if it tastes that
cauliflower?
much.
No, it tastes.
I've tasted that.
Yeah, they're pretty good. They're frozen ones at Hy-Vee, I think, is where I got it. Yeah.
Now, you know, in East Peoria, where the post office is, there used to be a Pizza Hut there.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, that was a good go-to place.
Oh,
for
absolutely.
Pizza Hut. People, rip Pizza Hut as being just kind of generic pizza, but I thought it was decent.
The
and it
personal
was-
pan pizza was my favorite
Yes,
for lunchtime.
yeah. Yeah, and they had a nice salad bar for
Why do you
part of
think
the time
they've
they were
gone
there.
down the tube somewhat?
Well, the typical brands that your parents went to now don't become popular with the offspring, and they look for different places. So yeah, it just probably wasn't the go-to place for the next generation or two after us. So
Yeah. I have a feeling, Mike Dentino, you have a flair for making your own pizza. Am I right on that?
Yeah, I mean,
We got one of those unis or whatever they call it. Isn't that real popular right now?
well, there, I mean,
The
you could-
uni stove, oven
Oh,
thing
yeah,
that you make
yeah.
the
Oh, yeah,
pizza
yeah.
in.
yeah, I mean, those, I mean, I wouldn't mind having one of those, but the problem is, I don't have a very big kitchen, and so I don't have room for lots of
We have to put it
gadgets.
out. So you put it on the garage.
Yeah. No, maybe I put it on the back porch of the barn.
Yeah.
Do some people make pizzas on the grill, like a Weber grill?
yeah,
Do they do that?
yeah, they advertise
wow.
that you can make pizza on a grill. I've never tried it.
Yeah. Here's the big question: you prefer the thick or the
Pan
thin?
pizza or the thin?
Yeah, the thick pizza
I'm
or
a
the
thin
thin
guy. I like the
crust.
thin.
Yeah, I love my deep dish Chicago pizza, but day in day out, yeah, I like the thinner the crust, the better.
Yeah, they're crispy.
Yeah, I agree with that.
What are your toppings? What kind of topping guy are you?
Well, I'll tell you what I don't put on it, and to the
Anchovies, nobody does.
perhaps anger of those aficionados is the pepperoni. I can't handle pepperoni.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody loves pepperoni.
I don't.
I don't.
I'm not a big
Yeah,
fan.
okay. When I got the personal pan, I always asked for chicken instead of sausage. And
Well, now
I
chicken's
thought
different than pizza.
yes, no chicken.
You just told me that.
Chicken, yeah. Well, I forgot. I meant to say pieces of chicken
Okay,
instead of
okay.
pieces of sausage, or and bacon. Not too bad. What's your favorite side? Or
I'm a simple
addition?
person. I just like cheese and sausage.
yeah,
Not too many other things to kind of muck up the taste to my taste.
I will tell you though, and I'm sure all of you have tried it. Casey's does a pretty good job with pizza.
Yeah. I mean,
Early on, it wasn't very good.
No,
No,
Yeah,
it's-
once they kind of got their system
the
going,
flair for it and a
it's
good recipe.
It's good now. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, with Casey's, what I found was I get the thin crust, and the day after, when you heat it up in the oven again, it's actually much better.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
'cause-
I'll have to
Because
try
the
that.
crust
Yeah.
gets crispy,
Yeah.
and
You
know,
can't do a microwave though, because then
No,
it
no,
just gets
no, no.
raw.
Actually, I have
yeah.
figured out a way to
Yeah?
do it. You microwave it
Yeah?
till it's hot and the cheese is melted, and then you put it in a fry pan that's very hot for
really?
for a minute or two, and
No?
that crisps the crust up.
Oh,
It
really?
tastes just like it
A
came
little
out
oil
of the
in the
oven.
pan, or?
No,
No?
right on the,
Oh,
well,
really?
Teflon.
Hey,
I
we'll
hate
have to
that
try that.
reheated floppy.
Why don't you go
Yes.
ahead and
No,
call
I do
now?
too.
Because
You wanna get some pizza?
Yeah, call
get some in
Casey
here?
and
My
get it.
technique,
to the-
Well,
Yeah.
I tell you,
really hot pan and put it in there for, check, make sure you're not burning the bottom, and as soon as it
That's
gets,
a great idea, because I hate
it'll
getting
get
reheated.
stiff.
I
It'll
agree
crunch.
with you.
Yeah.
Old pizza is
Oh.
old pizza, but
Oh,
the
my
way
son will eat
you've
it
done
for
it.
breakfast.
oh
Yeah.
yeah,
But Casey's has a great breakfast pizza
they
as
do,
well.
They do.
Yeah.
That is their crowning
The
achievement.
penguin
right there.
pizza, the old
I
penguin,
remember it in the Heights.
greasy
Yeah.
old, but it was good.
And my dad
Oh,
would
my.
say, why don't you go over and get us some pizza? From the Penguin Club. That used to be, I'll tell you a quick story and then we need to get in the news. It was a great gathering place
Oh, yeah.
for a lot of people, including city officials. And Royce and I went there and ran into George Shaddard, who was there, and I think by agreement, Pete Vanaken as well. And at the end of eating, Royce uncharacteristically said, "I'll take care of it. Hand me the check."
Oh, no.
And I stood up and I said, and the place was packed, and I said, "Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?" And it got all quiet, and I said, "I would like to announce for the first time in the history of the city of Peoria, Royce Elliott has picked up the check." And they all applauded and cheered. And he had some choice words for me later on. And he never bought anything after that, for that matter. Well, let's get into the news and bring you up to date. we'll start with the weather brought to you by Spoon River Home Health. You know, they've been providing quality care for people in central Illinois homes for over 30 years now. They're a professional and compassionate staff of nurses, therapists, and home care assistants available to care for your loved ones safely and comfortably. You can reach Spoon River today at 309-245-0723. What a day, what a weekend, what a month. For that matter, weather-wise, sunny and warm today with a high of 86, overnight low 57. And we have tomorrow another beautiful day, partly sunny and 83. Saturday, sunshine, 82, and Sunday, 81. Right now our temperature is 64 degrees, and that's your live weather report. Now the news, and Mike Dentino has the lead story.
Thank you, Roger. Peoria City Council this week reminded everyone that they are eager to see construction of another entertainment venue in the community. The council approved agreements with Terra Engineering and Core Construction to begin development of a 5,000-seat amphitheater and festival park on the riverfront. The entire project will be funded by an $11 million grant from the Hengst Foundation, compliments of Jim Hengst, who originally wanted the venue to be built in Washington in honor of his wife, Dee. However, that city's council rejected the offer.
While the Heart of Illinois Fair is long gone, the land isn't. The city last year paid $1.2 million for the 70 acres of Expo Gardens, with hopes a developer will construct up to 200 houses on the property. The city and Peoria's school district have agreed to swap land at the gardens and Richwoods High School. The city gets an access road to University, and the school district receives 6 acres near its bus parking lot. The district will use some of the newly acquired land for a facilities building. They started to wreck some of those buildings. And
Have they really?
Which
Yeah, they were dumps.
I think it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Why spend the money and they don't have anything? Why spend the money wrecking things? It's
Well, we're going to talk
sit
about
there.
that.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, let's
I'm
talk
glad you
about it,
brought-
doggone it.
Well, no, well,
We gotta
not-
get through this first.
yeah, let's do the news, weather, sports,
Let's talk
and the Iran war first.
Okay, all right. We'll get all the important stuff out of the way first.
In other council news, members approved a new 3-year contract with the company that provides shot spotter technology. It'll cost taxpayers $316,000, but Police Chief Brad Dixon says it's a vital part of its crime-fighting arsenal.
A bad 2-vehicle accident at a university in Gift shortly before 10 yesterday morning sent 2 people to local hospitals. One of the vehicles went out of control and crashed into a vacant house. No word on the condition of the injured.
Peoria police announced the arrest of 21-year-old O'Marvelous Blakes in connection with 2 shootings. The alleged gunman was grabbed up by officers in the area of Lexington Hills apartment this week, I should say. He's accused of shooting a 19-year-old woman in the leg on Sunday, May 3rd, in the 2700 block of West Fremont Street on the city's south side, and wounding of a 17-year-old Friday, May 8th, in the 800 block of West Thrush. That teen suffered a serious facial injury.
Isn't that marvelous?
Oh, marvelous.
Quick thinking by a family member prevented a possible school shooting in Plainfield, Illinois. It's a village about 40 miles south of Chicago. The family member learned a juvenile armed with a Glock handgun was on the way to Grand Prairie Elementary School with plans to shoot everyone and himself. However, the relative apprehended the youth and called 911 for help. Will County deputies searched the juvenile's backpack and found multiple loaded magazines, knives, gloves, and an accelerant.
Illinois Senator Dick Durbin will close out his 44 years in public office next January, but he's already saying farewell to supporters. He was given the microphone yesterday to say a farewell at a special session of the Illinois General Assembly in Springfield. The 81-year-old Democrat had some not-so-nice subtle remarks about President Trump and Republicans, using the words of a Republican, Abraham Lincoln, in his warnings about political divisions.
They cut the ribbon at the new Peoria fundraising headquarters of the St. Jude Children's Hospital yesterday. That's at 1320 West Commerce Drive, just off of North Knoxville. A large crowd of supporters were on hand to remind everyone of the ongoing programs, runs, and other events to help families of children stricken with cancer. OSF St. Francis terminated its cooperative agreement with the National St. Jude Hospital, apparently deciding to go it alone. We'll talk with Mike McCoy, longtime St. Jude fundraising leader, at 7:15 this morning about the new headquarters and its ongoing mission.
President Trump and his team are still trying to reach a peace agreement with Iran, but it hasn't happened yet. There's a ceasefire in place, but you wouldn't know it. U.S. forces shot down 4 Iranian drones in the Straits of Hormuz in what they called defensive measures. They also hit the launching site of the drones as the Iranians were getting ready to send another one into the air. New reports say that the U.S. has hit more than 12,000 Iranian military targets.
President Trump went to the hospital yesterday for good reasons. It was time for a 6-month physical checkup at Walter Reed, and he says he passed with flying colors. After the 3-hour exam, 3-hour exam?
Well,
Could be.
probably for.
Have you ever done a 3-hour exam, doctor?
X-rays.
Not in my office, no.
What, at home in your basement? What?
Are you talking about as a doctor or as a patient?
Well, I don't know. 3 hours seems like a long time for
Yeah,
an
but
exam.
that's probably
Not if
for
it
blood
includes
work.
blood test
Yeah,
or
yeah.
X-rays, chest X-ray, EKG. I'm sure he
well-
went through a lot more
For the
than most
poor
of us
guy,
do.
who'd want to be at the doctor's?
Well, stop to think. How many times have you sat in the waiting room of a doctor's office
Well,
for 3 hours?
Yeah, that I've done pretty regularly.
Oh, yeah. See, I
But
quit.
never a doctor said,
I'm
never.
guessing Trump didn't sit in a waiting room.
How many times are you going to
Read
listen
no
to
magazines?
elevator?
Yeah, I kind of doubt that.
Reading old National Geographic. Yes.
The 79-year-old Trump said everything was perfect. Left-wing Associated Press said the medical exam comes under renewed public scrutiny as he has worked to dismiss concerns over his age and stamina. Folks, that's just plain media BS.
Yeah.
The same Associated Press that covered up the neurological problems of President Biden for 4 years.
Yeah, well,
So
If
the
it's
cover-
from Associated Press, it's think twice about believability and credibility. That's a look at some of the stories we're following, and now we have news from WCBU, and it's brought to you by Heinz Roofing. They've been repairing and replacing roofs in Central Illinois for over 33 years. For a no-obligation inspection of your roof, call Doug Heinz. He's available at 309-672-0910.
From the WCBU newsroom, I'm Colleen Holden. Plans for a 200-unit residential neighborhood at the former Exposition Garden site in Peoria are taking shape. The City Council has approved a land exchange with Peoria Public Schools that seeks to make the location more attractive for developers. Mayor Rita Ali says the deal has been in discussion for about 9 months.
I think it's a win-win for both taxing bodies, as government bodies, as well as eventually for the city.
The swap gives the city a second entry point off University Street on the north side of the property and additional frontage space along Northmore Road. The school district gets a stretch of land near Ridgewood's athletic facilities. U.S. Senator Dick Durbin says he is hopeful yet skeptical that President Trump will reach a deal to end the Iran war.
He has promised over and over again that he's either going to wipe Iran off the face of the earth or he's got some positive negotiations. I just don't understand how he can say that contradictory thing and expect the American people to believe him.
On Saturday, Trump said a deal was close, but shortly after, Israel announced it was ramping up bombing against Iran-backed allies. The city of Pekin is considering selling its wastewater system to Illinois American Water. The company already provides the city's drinking water. City Manager John Dawsey says the city has only had preliminary talks with the company so far. Chris Guy with Illinois American Water says residents will be able to get a personalized cost estimate at a public open house if the sale goes through.
They can bring a water bill and say, hey, I use X amount of gallons per month, and then we can provide them an estimate on what their wastewater bill would be if you proceeded forward with the sale.
The open house is Thursday, June 11th from 5 to 7 p.m. at Pekin City Hall. And Illinois abortion advocates are urging lawmakers to do more to protect reproductive health care. Capital News Illinois reports the push comes after a recent Supreme Court ruling blocked a lower court decision that temporarily prohibited the use of telehealth for abortion care. The court has also ruled that mifepristone, a drug used in medication abortions and in miscarriage treatments, could still be accessed through the mail and at pharmacies. Lawmakers have so far discussed several bills that would support abortion rights. I'm Colleen Holden.
All right, let's get into the world of sports. Dr. Gene Sidler's here to tell us Cubs win. Cubs win.
1. The Cubs beat the Pirates last night 10-4. Pats finally woke up after about a week and a half of slumber. And 10-4, Cubs broke their 10-game losing streak and avoid falling into last place in the National League Central. They remain 4.5 games out of the division leaders, behind the division leader Milwaukee Brewers in the National League Central. The Cubs will play Pittsburgh again tonight, and then they start a 3-game series in St. Louis against the Cardinals starting Friday. And the Cardinals lost to the Milwaukee Brewers yesterday, 2-1. The Cardinals have lost 4 in a row now, 6 of their last 7, and they dropped 4.5 games behind the Brewers in that National League Central Division. The Cardinals are off today, and they'll host the Cubs for night games Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. And the White Sox won last night, beat the Minnesota Twins 15-2. Nice pitchers duel. The Sox Sox really pounded out lots of 18 hits in the game for the White Sox. They improved to 28-27, so they're above 500 again, second place in the American League Central. They're 3.5 games behind the Cleveland Guardians that lead that division. Sox will play the Twins again in an afternoon game today, and then they have a series at home against the Detroit Tigers starting Friday night. Peoria Chiefs played a doubleheader at the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers yesterday to make up for a rainout that happened last month. The Chiefs won game 1, 6-0, and that was the Chiefs' 6th win in a row. So they've been on a little bit of a hot streak here, but then they did turn around and lose game 2, 12-7. So still in 5th place in the Western Division of the Midwest League as we get into the last few weeks of the first half of the season. Doesn't look like they're going to qualify for the playoffs in the first half. Hopefully the second half will be a little bit better. The series in Wisconsin, the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers are located in Grand Chute, Wisconsin.
Where is that?
It's a little suburb of Appleton. So that's the area that the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers are from. They'll play again tonight, and that series continues through Sunday. NHL last night, National Hockey League, Game 4 of the East Conference Finals. Carolina Hurricanes beat the Montreal Canadiens 4-0 to take a 3-1 lead in that series. Game 5 is Friday night, and the winner of the series will eventually play in the Stanley Cup Finals against the West Conference champion Las Vegas Golden Knights.
Yeah, just think, the Las Vegas is what, 2-year new team?
2022. No, this would be, I think they're 4
years,
three,
yeah.
or maybe
Yeah,
fourth.
it's a shame because the league wanted to make sure Vegas was successful and loaded their team up.
The expansion draft and the restrictions on how many players the teams could protect was rearranged so that there would be plenty of good players and good goalies available to the expansion team, and it really helped them out. They're going for their second Stanley Cup championship, and they've only been a franchise for 4 years. So,
well, it's just a reminder that these people that run these professional leagues are not as honest as the day is long.
Or as bright as you would expect. Anyway, over in the NBA, the Oklahoma City Thunder, there were no games last night, but the Oklahoma City Thunder and San Antonio Spurs will play tonight in Game 6 of the Western Conference Finals. Oklahoma City leads that series 3-2. The winner of that series will play the New York Knicks in the NBA Finals. And the second of the 4 major tennis tournaments going on this week and next week, the French Open. It's into the second round now, and there's no really big upsets on the men's side. Number 1 seed Yannick Sinner, the favorite. Number 2 seed Alexander Zverev of Germany, and number 3 seed is 39-year-old Novak Djokovic of Serbia. Last year's winner Carlos Alcaraz of Spain withdrew because of a wrist injury.
Oh, really? Because he would have been the favorite, would he not?
He would have been the number 1 seed, yes. On the women's side, number 1 seed is Arina Sabalenka of Belarus, number 3 seed Iga Swiatek of Poland, and last year's winner, number 4 seed Coco Gauff. The number 2 seed on the women's side was upset in the second round.
Who was that?
Elena Rybakina of Russia was upset by a woman.
What was she upset about?
Losing.
She was upset by Yulia Starodubaseva of Ukraine.
Easy
So
for
you
to
can,
say.
at least Ukraine
know,
beat Russia in something.
Shouldn't they do, a lot of people when they come to this country with long names and foreign names and so forth, they change their names. As a good example of that, my cardiologist, Dr. Shea, that's not his real name. It's Sarah, who put that? What is it?
Svrinza Savvy or something like that.
Yeah. And they should at least get an American first name like Jeff. Jeff. Yeah, I like that.
Asians tend to name their offspring once they come to the U.S.
American
names.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was in training, I had a lot of Asian interns and residents working with me. And they all had American names like Jeff Sakamoto and Adrian, Yamashita, and they all had Americanized names, and many coming from European countries and other countries don't tend to do that.
I wonder why they don't, pick up popular names like Popeye. You remember the famous actor? I think it was Gene Hackman.
Yeah.
Didn't he have the name of Popeye?
No, he played a role in
Popeye Doyle.
French Connection. Popeye Doyle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that
Wasn't
was
that
actually a
his
real
name?
character. Yeah.
No, it was his character's name.
But that was based on a real story, and there was a real guy who was nicknamed Popeye Doyle.
No, I realize that wasn't a real name. Like Gene's real
But
name
I don't
is
think
Felix.
that nickname stuck with him.
Yeah.
He
after
didn't
that
hear
movie.
No,
He was just known for that role. Anyway.
If you had the right, wouldn't it be wonderful as we come out of the womb and they talk about, here's a little boy, God should have given us the opportunity when they said Roger, let's name him Roger. And I could have said, no, let me give you what I
What
want
would
to
you
be
pick?
named.
What would you have picked instead of?
Roger. You know why my name is Roger? My dad was a baseball fan, and he liked Roger Hornsby, and
But he
he
dropped the
wanted
S.
me. He wanted my middle name to be Hornsby, and my mother put her foot down and said, "Okay, I'll go with the Roger, but not the Hornsby."
What is your middle name?
Hornsby?
No. Wait, do you have
George. And you know what? With due respect to Bradley University, no one in all of my 92 years has ever mentioned my middle name. I get mail from Bradley University that says Roger George Monroe. Do you get mail with your middle? You went to Bradley. Do you get mail from Bradley with your middle name? What is your middle name? You don't want to say, do you? Any more than I wanted to
Well,
say,
you know
George.
my
Oh, this is a weird one, huh?
You know my middle name.
You what?
You guys all know my middle name.
Gino?
It's Gene. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You have
I
a
go by
phony
my
first
middle
name.
Yeah.
That's
Your
right.
first name is Felix?
Mo, isn't it?
Let's move on. There's a reason I
Okay.
use
Yeah,
my middle name.
Well,
I don't like
my middle
first
name is George, and that's...
Did you change it, or did your
Yeah, I
family?
did.
Well, how old were you when you just decided
Well,
you
it
don't
was
like
when I
your
went
name?
to college, because you can't do it any time before that because everybody knows you
who-
by
yeah.
your given name, and so you finally have a chance when you go to college because there may only be one or two people that
Yeah.
know you there. And
And
so-
why did you not like your name? What do you?
Let's move on.
Yeah, it's
Well, no,
okay.
I-
All right.
It's well past time for your
Why
news.
don't you like
You
your?
can go to Google and find out.
No, I found what it is. I'm not going to say.
Oh,
it,
you
but-
have? Okay.
Yeah, it's Mo.
No,
I
but
think.
see, that's not unusual. My wife and I named our oldest son Roger Daniel Monroe, and he has always been known as Dan. Never
Well, a
Roger.
lot of times just to
because he
avoid
didn't want to be
confusion.
Junior.
Well, yeah, you see that a lot. A friend of mine, one of his, I think his second oldest son is Patrick, and the son actually has the same first name as his dad. It cuts down on confusion, I will
Yeah,
say
you're
that,
right, yeah.
because in high school I ended up getting a nickname, Ernie, because
You
people,
did?
yeah,
Ernie.
everybody in high school knew me as Ernie.
No kidding.
Yeah.
How did that come
Ernie
about?
D.
Well, that That came about because I had this, I lost a contact and I had to wear my backup glasses for a few weeks. And there were these thick black rim glasses. And people said I looked like Ernie from My Three Sons.
Yes.
That is funny.
It stuck
The
like, I
adopted
hated
son.
that.
Yeah.
The longest lived nicknames are the ones that you hate.
Yeah, you're right. There's a lot. As a matter of fact, through high school, my classmates called me Butterball because I was short. Yes, they called and
Well, that's kind of derogatory.
and I was short and a little on the chubby side. Although some people say I don't know where they came, but I've got a yearbook. I think I burned it, but I had a year, and the kids all say, "Good luck, Butterball."
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. My yearbook is filled with Ernie references. And there are still people in the city that think my first name is actually Ernie.
I've never heard that before.
kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Did you, as a result of that, did you go on medication like I did?
Oh yeah.
Butterball?
Yeah. Well, I drank excessively for a very long time.
I got very upset at Thanksgiving time.
Oh my God! Well, yeah, you were
yelling,
scared.
Here's was my namesake
the Butterball.
on the table.
They'll throw you
hey,
in the oven.
Butterball, you want a piece of Butterball?
See, the one place there was never any confusion was in my grandparents' house, and there was my grandfather was Mike, my dad was Mike, and I was Mike. When Grandma was in the
Yeah.
kitchen, she would yell Mike, and all three of us knew exactly who it was she was referring to. There was no question. Is it you? No, that's not me. That's not me. That's not the truth. Yeah,
Crazy.
but Grandma had a tone that each of us knew which one of it was.
Yeah. My dad's the one that had the tone, and I knew what that meant when he called me. That means you get your, you know what,
Took us, yeah.
SS in here. I want to talk to you.
We're getting late here,
let's-
Butterball.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's all right. I don't care. Go ahead. The news headlines brought to you by Kyle Varno, providing personal and business insurance for auto, home, life, and health. Kyle, you know, works with a number of companies to find the right policy at the right price to help out individuals, families, and businesses to get the best deal. And you can get information about insurance from Kyle today by calling 309-682-0519. Now with the news, here's Ernie.
Thanks a lot, Roger. Peoria City Council this week reminded everyone that they are eager to see construction of another entertainment venue in the city. The council approved agreements with Terra Engineering and Core Construction to begin development of a 5,000-seat amphitheater in Festival Park on the riverfront. The entire project will be funded by an $11 million grant from the Hanks Foundation of Washington. While the Heart of Illinois Fair is long gone, the land isn't. The city last year paid $1.2 million for 70 acres at Expo Gardens, with hopes a developer will construct up to 200 houses on the property. The city and Peoria School District have agreed to swap some land at the Gardens and Richwood High School. The city gets an access road to University, and the school district receives 6 acres near its bus parking lot. The district will use some of the newly acquired land for a facilities building. In other council news, members approved a new 3-year contract with the company that provides ShotSpotter technology. It'll cost taxpayers $316,000, but Police Chief Brad Dixon says it's a vital part of its crime-fighting arsenal. A 2-vehicle accident at a university in Gift shortly before 10 yesterday morning sent 2 people to a local hospital. One of the vehicles went out of control and crashed into a vacant house. No word on the condition of the injured. Peoria police announced the arrest of 21-year-old O'Marvelous Blakes in connection with 2 shootings. The alleged gunman was grabbed by officers in the area of Lexington Hills Apartments this week. He's accused of shooting a 19-year-old woman in the leg on Sunday, March 3rd, in the 2700 block of West Fremont Street in the city's south side, and wounding of a 17-year-old Friday, May 8th, in the 800 block of West Thrush. That teen suffered a serious facial injury. Quick thinking by a family member prevented a possible school shooting in Plainfield, Illinois. It's a village about 40 miles south of Chicago. The family member learned that a juvenile, armed with a Glock handgun, was on his way to Grand Prairie Elementary School with plans to shoot everyone and himself. However, the relative apprehended the youth and called 911 for help. Will County deputies searched the juvenile's backpack and found multiple loaded magazines, knives, gloves, and an accelerant. They cut the ribbon at the new Peoria fundraising headquarters of the St. Jude's Children's Hospital yesterday at 1320 West Commerce Drive, just off North Knoxville.
Do you know where is that exactly?
Well,
Is it out by Fox Point or whatever they call North Point?
no,
I'm not sure.
I think it's right down by the hospital.
No, I don't think so.
No?
No.
Oh, okay. Well,
Well, we'll Google it and find out.
West Commerce Drive.
Commerce.
Yeah, I'm not.
I think it's off of Knoxville. I think it's out by where Kroger is and.
Well, they're out in
That's
Knoxville.
possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's way out there.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's
Well,
a good
sure,
idea.
fine.
Yeah, that's okay. Just don't call me Butterball.
Just don't call me Ernie.
Okay. Yeah.
Actually, you know, I have grown fond of that nickname over the years.
You know, I like it. It's masculine.
Well, I've heard I've heard it in a number of odd circumstances. But
Who
anyway,
was the most famous actor with Ernie?
Borgnine.
yeah, Ernest Borgnine.
Yeah.
That would be my guess.
Or Bert's buddy.
Bert and Ernie.
Bert and Ernie.
Yeah.
That I wouldn't have said.
Well, anyway, a large
Yes, please.
crowd of
Yes.
supporters were on hand to remind everyone of the ongoing programs, runs, and other events to help families of children stricken with cancer. OSF St. Francis terminated its cooperative agreement with the National St. Jude Hospital, apparently deciding to go it alone. And we'll talk with Mike McCoy, longtime St. Jude fundraising leader, at 7:15 about the new headquarters and its ongoing mission. President Trump and his team are still trying to reach a peace agreement with Iran, but it hasn't happened yet. There's a ceasefire in place, but you wouldn't know it. U.S. forces shot down 4 Iranian drones in the Straits of Hormuz in what they called defensive measures. They also hit the launching site of the drones as the Iranians were getting ready to send another one into the air. And finally, President Trump went to the hospital yesterday for good reason. It's time for his 6-month physical at Walter Reed, and he says he passed it with flying colors. After a 3-hour exam, the 79-year-old Trump said everything was perfect.
Yeah.
And Roger, that's it for news at the bottom of the hour.
Now, this might be a little distasteful for our listeners, but I'm going to bring it up anyway. Dr. Sidler, would the doctor doing the exam feel a little some reservation for the prostate part of the exam? To the president
President of the United
yeah,
States.
to the president of the United States. Think about that.
Yeah, think about that. That's a wonderful thought.
There are some things probably best left
Undiscussed. Yeah. Okay.
The turn and cough part.
Yeah, I could see the doctor saying, "Do you want me to check your prostate?" But is that possible?
Well, I would guess he would be a little more forward, saying that in order to complete this exam, we need to do a prostate exam. And I'm sure that President Trump has had that done before.
Well, I think
He's going to be 80, I think, later
80,
this,
yeah.
this
We'll dim the lights.
summer. Yeah.
and play some music.
Yeah.
Oh, you're terrible. Why'd you bring that up anyway?
Well, it happened one time.
All right, let's get into something more tasteful, and that is the weather. A service of Morton Community Banks with over 50 branches across Illinois. Hometown banks, they are FDIC insured, so your deposits are safe. Look for the clock tower, and you'll know they have time for you.
Sunny and warm today, Butterball. High 86. Overnight low 57. Tomorrow, partly sunny, 82. Saturday, sunshine, 82. Sunday, 81. Looks like a nice weekend. Right
It
now,
does, yeah.
it's 64.1 degrees.
You know, I know you're very eager to talk about this land swap and the purchase of land by the city of Peoria. And I want to talk about it because they're talking about up to 200 houses possibly on this. And I just want to warn the people because we went through this where I used to live when the city bought through Upgrade, an organization for, quote, affordable housing. And that's what the mayor is talking about, affordable housing. When you hear that,
Sounds good. Yes.
be on guard, ladies and gentlemen. But I just don't see, for one thing, it's going to require millions for infrastructure. And I don't see if there is a developer in Peoria today willing to buy that land at a pretty good price, I'm sure, to build, quote, affordable housing next to Richwood High School and North Monroe Grade School.
Right. Well, I mean, if you look, that area up there, demographically, it's a desirable area because it's surrounded by,
some nice homes,
medium to higher end homes. But the thing of it is, the city paid what, like $1.2 million for it?
Correct.
Okay, and now they're demoing all the stuff that's there. But you got to consider now someone's got to come in and put sewer in. Someone's got to put in and put roads in. Someone's got to come in and put in the electrical infrastructure and the gas infrastructure. Now, because 70 acres for 1.2 million doesn't sound like a bad deal.
Good deal.
But what's it going to cost you just for those three things right there? That's going to at least, I have no idea what it costs to do that, but it seems to me that it's going to at least double the price of the property.
Oh, at least.
And again, I don't really have any idea what it costs to put in sewer or electric or gas. Then you're going to have roads.
Curbs and
you
gutters.
You got to plan it all out. Sidewalks, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's not even getting into, what's Peoria County and the city of Peoria going to require for building permits, and what are the requirements for each of these modest housing? And of course, there's going to be pushback from the people all around there that have what they figure are much more expensive and fancy schmancy houses. So, what are we going to put? Harrison Homes version 2.0 out there? Mm-hmm. Now, granted, what they're building down along Adams Street now is a far cry nicer than what was there before, but still, it's government housing, and everybody, when you start talking about that, it's all NIMBY. It's all, not in my backyard. Oh my God! Oh, the element that's going to come in. It's like, well, maybe yes, maybe no. Look at how successful, and I use that term advisedly. What's the development down off MacArthur Highway? I can't think of the name of it. It was supposed to be mixed housing.
Yeah,
where the old Warner was?
Yeah, where Warner was.
Warner Homes
And
used to be.
they built, they look really nice.
Yes, they do.
But
Curb
it
appeal.
was supposed to be mixed income housing, and I doubt that that's
No,
what it is,
yeah,
not down there.
Well, here's a question for you. When was the last subdivision constructed in Peoria?
I've been out north.
Yeah, probably like Dover Point or something
Thousand
like that.
Oaks.
Thousand Oaks, decades ago.
Yeah.
I just, I don't think
out
there's
north
been,
of town. But
I don't think there's
Dunlap
been a
area, maybe?
subdivision in the last 20 years.
Well, 2008 is when 2007 is when they started building Addingham Park.
Okay.
And that's out Alta, just
Yeah.
past
that was,
Last Chance.
Yeah, that was what, Wilkinson or
No.
Wilkins.
Traders
Traders Realty.
Bob Wilkins, wasn't it?
No, it was, the guy that was out there, Dan Weibel,
Oh, Weibel built some.
built.
Yeah.
Well, he was the one that I think laid it out, and then he sold lots to all sorts of different developers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when you
He built
agree,
a nice house.
Yeah.
yeah, and
Went over
there's some real. I think the most recent one was probably out in the Dunlap area, but compare that with construction on Exposition Gardens, where on the one hand you have literally the school bus parking lot facility.
The aroma of diesel every morning with your coffee.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think you can build a house for, what, 150 grand? I mean, it's going to be, the cost per square foot today is, what, 120 bucks a foot?
Probably, yeah, probably. I mean, $100,000 house, they're bringing it to the lot on a trailer.
Yeah. I mean, if maybe they'll go to Wausau Home or something, or
Yeah.
what's the place out of America? Or,
Hardaway, or there's one on 74 towards Goodfield.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they build them inside. Those
I
are
think
very
they're
well-built
called
homes.
Homeway, is it?
Homeway homes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the
Homeway
one.
is what it is now.
And those are very nice homes. I
You know,
toured there.
I commend city leadership and the city manager Patrick Yerg, but I don't think they have thought this through
This is a miss.
very carefully.
This is a miss.
Frankly speaking, I know what they're trying to do, the call for, quote, affordable housing, and that sounds good on paper and maybe in the media and so forth, but I'd like them to define it. And if they're
But
talking,
they have defined it to some degree.
well,
haven't
they said yes,
Two to
something like
300,000.
250,000.
Yeah.
In that neighborhood, and I
That's
think them.
affordable to who?
Yeah,
That
well,
doesn't sound affordable to
That's
a big
kind of a heavy
segment
price.
of the
No.
population.
Yeah.
You got to be
there's-
making some money to pay off a mortgage for $250.
And does that figure include the price of the lot?
well, you see, yeah, that's kind of the
I
bugaboo
would
right there, because
hope
land
so.
costs,
Yeah.
land costs are really what drives a lot of this
Yes.
stuff.
Well, you got 20%. 20% of your value is in your land. Whatever the market value is, 20% of that is what your land costs.
And you know about assessments, so I'll take you at your word for
This
it.
is the way
I commend what they want to do, but I don't think they have the experience and the wisdom, and maybe they do.
They don't. The other real estate deals aren't there either. When they make a deal on real estate,
Yeah, look
they
at their-
just don't know what the heck
Look
they're
at their
doing.
history of being landlords and real estate, quote, developers over the last, well, since the Civic Center was built.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not, I'm not saying the Civic Center didn't turn out to be a reasonable deal, but there have been a lot of bodies buried along the way with the city, sticking their fingers in, well, we're going to help develop this, and oh, we're going to finance that.
Doesn't work.
It's, more often than not, it's a whiff.
Yeah.
It's a swing and a miss.
Here's an additional challenge. They're going to build an amphitheater as an entertainment venue along the riverfront.
Yeah.
They're getting a lot of that
And
money.
you know what? We have a beautiful entertainment venue in the Scottish Rite Cathedral, and it's
Right.
empty.
Right.
Now, are you going to tell me because you're going to build an amphitheater, and by the way, you have an amphitheater, or we're supposed to update it in the park, at Glen Oak Park. Nothing has been done on that, and
You've got the
with due
center stage
respect
down
to
there
the
on
folks
the-
at the
on the-
Peoria Park District,
Yeah.
that's what they promised the neighbors, and we've done nothing with the amphitheater there, so we're going to build one because this wonderful family, the Hens family in Washington, Illinois, and they were turned down by the city council there. So we're going to build one along the riverfront under the Murray Baker Bridge,
Well,
and that's
why
going to be a
Washington
big.
turned it down? Because the infrastructure and
Correct,
was
yeah.
crazy money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the infrastructure, I think, it's already there along the
Yeah, but then
riverfront,
it's
so
got to
that
be
will be.
maintained and
Well, that's
Right.
true.
who's going to use it? We've got so many venues that just sit
I mean,
here.
yeah, right now we definitely suffer from an overabundance of venues right now, and venues have popped up, lasted a couple years, and then just faded away. The one up on North University,
Yeah, out by Pioneer Park.
yeah, by Pioneer Park.
What'd they call that? We don't even
Limelight.
remember the
Limelight.
Limelight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, and I went to a number of things up there. It seemed to be fairly well attended.
How much? What was the seating capacity?
Well, not really. It didn't really have a seating capacity.
Yeah,
it was more like a standing
capacity.
capacity.
It's a big warehouse. It was
Yeah.
just a big open warehouse.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what? That was a great deal of fun when I was in my 20s. I remember going to Three Sisters Park for lots of concerts up there and had a wonderful time.
Remember the barn? Well, you're probably not old enough. Yeah, the barn on Galena Road.
Yeah, the barn on Galena Road.
They used to have a lot of concerts
Yeah,
up
you're
there.
right.
Concerts
Yeah,
there.
by Detweiler Park.
Yeah.
I mean, it's it's one thing to be to stand 3.5 hours to listen to your favorite rock group when you're in your 20s. By the time you hit your 60s, I need someone. I mean, I ended up having to sit down, listen to Ted Nugent up at the Limelight. It's like I just can't. My back.
Ted
can't take
Nugent
this
came to
anymore.
the Limelight?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I did
They had
not
some big
know
names
that.
out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. I bet and the thing of it is, I don't know. I mean, I don't know squat about how to book acts, but people that do.
Well, they quit Three Sisters. They're not doing that anymore.
Right, they
The
quit Three
Goldbergs aren't
Sisters.
doing that anymore.
And you get the Scottish Rite that, I mean, I don't,
Sir.
and there's stuff, maybe there's stuff
the
being
Apollo
done there, but I don't
Theaters.
hear about it.
Nothing's going on with the Apollo Theater.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, maybe it's either things aren't being done or I just don't hear about it, which is entirely possible. I know Kenny's West Side downtown has bands in pretty regularly.
I
And,
did not
Oh,
know
the old Valley Tap too. He's got a
Yeah.
stage out there now, and
Oh, yeah.
He shuttles a bus from the Landmark area because there's no parking there. But he's
Right.
packing them in. He's picking up a lot of the bands that
where
were
is
going
that?
to be out at Three
Yeah.
Sisters.
Well,
The old Friendly Valley Tap.
yeah, down in that little.
On Meadowbrook
Meadowbrook.
Lane?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah,
I did
Sean
not-
bought that.
I did not know that.
It's not an outdoor venue, though?
Yeah.
That's
is.
where they have a
See, I think
volleyball
that's
court
the
outside.
limiting factor there when you're having outdoor.
Well, it is. But I tell you what, Sean
He packs them in over
He
there.
packs them
He
in,
does.
and he really understands the business from
Oh, he knows
from
that
what I've
business.
seen.
Well, he
and-
works with the Goldberg Group. They book a lot of his stuff.
Okay. Well, I mean,
Grandview Entertainment.
What's the name of it?
Friendly Tap or
Friendly Tap?
Yeah, it used to
Friendly
be
Valley Tap, isn't it?
Friendly
Yeah.
Valley Tap.
Well,
Yeah.
it can't be, but it's not in the North Valley, is it?
We would already resurrected that joke. It was.
It's next to the car dealer there. It's in the hole. It's
It's Norton Cadillac, Pontiac.
yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, something good's gonna happen to you.
I tell you what,
Something good's going to happen to
Bring
you.
the wife. Will
I can't say enough nice things about Sean Kenny. He's
he knows how to
a mover and a
operate.
shaker.
He knows
Yeah,
how to
he
operate.
is. He is.
Yeah. 64 degrees, and it is 6:57. Time for our pet tip of the day.
Today's pet tip is brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets large and small 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
Pet lovers are dedicated to their animals, all species from horses to turtles and of course cats and dogs. If you are a pet lover, learn these little known, somewhat amazing facts about your pet. You know, we all love to feed and house the wild birds, but we need to be mindful of some simple steps we should take to keep them safe and healthy. First, it is important to wash those feeders with a soap and water solution. Bacteria can grow in feeders and bird baths, infecting the birds, causing illnesses that lead to their death. We definitely do not want to kill our little singing birdies. Birdhouses need attention each spring as well. Remove all the old nesting matter from the previous season and wash out those houses. Birds won't nest in old material anyway, so if you want the pleasure of watching for baby birds, it's the least you can do. There is something else I'll bet you haven't considered. Place a screen under your feeders to prevent seed falling to the ground and being eaten by your dog. Dogs have a scavenging instinct and will eat the seed. This is a serious problem because it expands in the digestive system, causing severe blockage which can kill your dog. If your dog eats birdseed, you will be going to the vet for the proper treatment, medications, and probably an overnight stay. So avoid the problem and keep the seed from falling to the ground. Follow these simple steps and you will enjoy the birds all season long. This whisker of information has been made possible by a grant from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting in partnership with Spot, Saving Pets One at a Time, and KSBR Studios. Produced by Joseph C. McGuire and theme music by Stuardo Glasser.
Today's pet tip has been brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
Okay, boys and girls, that wraps up hour number 1 of Breakfast with Roger and Friends, the fearsome foursome this morning. We have news, weather, and sports coming up in the next hour on WACU FM 90.7 in Peoria, Illinois. Also on YouTube, we'll talk to St. Jude spokesperson for the local office of Alsac and St. Jude, Mike McCoy. Stay tuned for that. Thanks for being a part of our program on this beautiful Thursday morning. And a pleasant good morning, everybody. It is Thursday, the 28th of May, and we start with the weather brought to you by Matt Wall, CPA and tax specialist with Gordon Stockman Wall. All things finance available with Matt Wall, CPA, and you can reach Matt Wall today at 309-692-4030.
Right now, sunny and warm today, Roger. High 86, overnight low 57. Tomorrow, partly sunny 82. Saturday, sunshine 82. Currently at 64 degrees.
And now we have the news brought to you by Steve Sink, certified business intermediary with PHX affiliates. Steve has been a business broker for over 20 years. He specializes in business and business valuations. You can reach Steve today at 309-696-8508. And now the news. Mike Dentino with our lead story.
Thank you, Roger. Peoria City Council this week reminded everyone that they are eager to see construction of another entertainment venue in the community. The council approved agreements with Terra Engineering and Core Construction to begin development of a 5,000-seat amphitheater and festival park on the riverfront. The entire project will be funded by an $11 million grant from the Hengst Foundation, compliments of Jim Hengst, who originally wanted the venue to be built in Washington in honor of his wife, Dee. However, that city's council rejected the offer.
While the Heart of Illinois Fair is long gone, the land isn't. The city last year paid $1.2 million for the 70 acres at Expo Gardens with hopes a developer will construct up to 200 houses on the property. The city and Peoria School District have agreed to swap land at the Expo and Richwoods High School. The city gets an access road to University, and the school district receives 6 acres near its bus parking lot. The district will use some of the newly acquired land for facilities building.
In other council news, members approved a 3-year contract with the company that provides shot spotter technology. It'll cost taxpayers $316,000, but Police Chief Brad Dixon says it's a vital part of its crime-fighting arsenal.
A bad 2-vehicle accident at University and Gift shortly before 10 yesterday morning sent 2 people to local hospitals. One of the vehicles went out of control and crashed into a vacant house. No word on the condition of the injured.
Peoria police announced the arrest of 21-year-old O'Marvelous Blakes in connection with 2 shootings. The alleged gunman was grabbed by officers in the area of Lexington Hills Apartments this week. He's accused of shooting a 19-year-old woman in the leg Sunday on May 3rd, in the 2700 block of West Fremont Street on the city's south side, and then the wounding of a 17-year-old Friday, May 8th, in the 800 block of West Thrush. That teen suffered a serious facial injury.
Quick thinking by a family member prevented a possible school shooting in Plainfield, Illinois, a village about 40 miles south of Chicago. The family member learned that a juvenile armed with a Glock handgun was on the way to Grand Prairie Elementary School with plans to shoot everyone and himself. However, the relative apprehended the youth and called 911 for help. Will County deputies searched the juvenile's backpack, found multiple loaded magazines, knives, gloves, and an accelerant.
Illinois Senator Dick Durbin will close out his 44 years in public office next January, but he's already saying farewell to supporters. He was given the microphone yesterday to say farewell at a special session of the Illinois General Assembly in Springfield. The 81-year-old Democrat had some not so nice or not so subtle remarks about President Trump and Republicans, using the words of a Republican, Abraham Lincoln, in his warnings about political divisions.
They cut the ribbon at the new Peoria fundraising headquarters of St. Jude Children's Hospital yesterday. That's at 1300 West Commerce Drive, just off North Knoxville. A large crowd of supporters were on hand to remind everyone of the ongoing programs. There's runs and other events to help families of children stricken with cancer. OSF St. Francis terminated its cooperative agreement with the National St. Jude Hospital, apparently deciding to go it alone. We'll talk with Mike McCoy, a longtime St. Jude fundraising leader, at 7:15 about the new headquarters and its ongoing mission.
President Trump and his team are still trying to reach a peace agreement with Iran, but it hasn't happened yet. There's a ceasefire in place, but, well, you wouldn't know it. U.S. forces shot down 4 Iranian drones in the Straits of Hormuz in what they call a defensive measure. They also hit the launch site of the drones as the Iranians were getting ready to send yet another one into the air. A new report says that the U.S. has hit more than 12,000 Iranian military targets.
President Trump went to the hospital yesterday for a good reason. It was time for a 6-month physical checkup at Walter Reed, and he says he passed it with flying colors. After the 3-hour exam, the 79-year-old Trump said everything was perfect. Left-wing Associated Press said the medical exam comes under renewed public scrutiny as he has worked to dismiss concerns over his age and stamina. Folks, that's just crazy. That's just nuts. The same Associated Press that covered up the neurological problems of President Biden for 4 years. Now they're telling us something different. So,
Yeah.
hey, listen to it. It's crazy.
It is crazy, you bet. All right, let's get into the world of sports with Dr. Brought to you by BradleyFans.com. Any activity in the off-season, on your website?
Right now, things are very slow. We are in the month of May and June are what are called recruiting dead periods, meaning that there's no recruiting allowed to go on, other than a couple of weekends when there's exposure events for the summer league players, the guys that play what used to be called AAU ball. Now it's called summer ball, or sponsored by Nike and other big sponsors, the shoe companies. Anyway, right now there's not much going on. No really new signings, no news of any new recruits. So yeah, things are quiet.
You know, interesting. I had an appointment with a dermatologist, Dr. Fry of Central Illinois.
Jamie Fry?
Jamie, is she a sweetheart? Is she a sweetheart?
I don't know her well, but yes, everybody that I sent to her liked her. She is really good at what she does.
Manner. And she's a sports fan, and she played a little fast pitch. I believe that she attended college at Creighton University. And her father was, I believe she said, a basketball coach at Bergen. And she told me his name, but because I didn't take Prevagen, I have
What's her last
forgotten.
name? Oh, it's her married name, though.
Fry,
yeah,
her name.
Fry is her married name. But she brought up basketball in our final kind of conversation. I took some things off that were nasty looking.
We got things growing on you?
Well, you know, as you get older, there are things that, as you know, because you've talked to patients and you've used what she used on me, gas. But it's
you had a little
what do they
gas?
call it? Nitrogen.
Liquid nitrogen.
Yeah.
But she probably used a little handheld device, did she?
No, she used a blowtorch.
Well, I mean,
Bernzomatic.
Yeah. Bernzomatic. Yeah. No, you're right. She used a liquid. But she brought up Bradley basketball, and she said, do you think Coach Wardle, she knows the coach's name, and she knows Bradley, and she's rooting for Bradley. And I brought up your BradleyFans.com to her, and I said, do you know Dr. Sidler? And she said, yes. She said he was known as Butterfingers. No. And no, I made that up too. The whole story is made up. No, but anyway, she's a big Bradley fan and a sports fan. We had a great conversation, but spoke very highly of you. When
doesn't know him very well.
when I left, she had a different opinion of you. But no, that's terrible, Roger. Insulting the beloved Dr. Gene Sidler. So she said the question, is Bradley going to be okay this year? And I said, I don't know, but he's done a good job recruiting.
Yes, and that's kind of how you have to look at it, because there's so many new players with the transfer portal and everything that goes on now. You just can't predict very accurately what your team's going to end up doing. And there were a couple of teams in last year's Missouri Valley that it was thought they were going to be, you know, the runaway best teams in the league, like Illinois State and Murray State, and they finished down around 4th and 5th place. So they were not so good. And Belmont, that had to do a lot of rebuilding, they ran away with the championship during the regular season last year. So, yeah, a lot of things you can't predict when you have to rebuild your whole roster every year like they do now with the transfer portal and the NIL and all of that. So,
And we both agreed that the decision of what has happened to college sports is not good and will do nothing to help mid-size university like Bradley, Loyola of Chicago, et cetera, and so forth. And it will be the big teams in Big Ten and Big 12, so forth, that will benefit by this horrendous Supreme Court ruling.
well, the NCAA has come forward with some new rules and regulations regarding transfers and eligibility, and they're going to vote on it later in June, and it should pass. But I also saw yesterday that the Senate, a couple of senators, a Republican and a Democrat together, so it's bipartisan, have come forward with a piece of legislation, a bill that will maybe bring some sanity to the college sports world, because there's so much transferring going on, so much money being thrown around.
I'm sorry I brought this up because I know I've got to speak with Mike
All right.
McCoy at 7:15.
Well, let's run through sports
Shame
real
on me. Here's sports with
Cardinals lost to the Brewers yesterday afternoon, 2-1. Cardinals lost 4 in a row now, 6 of their last 7. The Cubs, they beat the Pittsburgh Pirates last night 10-4 to break their 10-game losing streak. And they remain 4.5 games behind the Brewers in that National League Central. They'll play the Pittsburgh Pirates again tonight to finish that series, and then they start a home series against the Cardinals tomorrow night. The Chicago White Sox won. They beat the Minnesota Twins 15-2. They'll play the Twins again this afternoon. And the Peoria Chiefs played a doubleheader yesterday. They won Game 1. That was their 6th win in a row. They won 6-0, and then they lost Game 2, 12-7 to the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers. They'll play again tonight. And the NHL, Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals, Carolina Hurricane beat the Montreal Canadiens 4-0, and that gives them a 3-1 lead in that East Conference Finals. If they can go on and win, they will face the Las Vegas Golden Knights in the Stanley Cup Finals. Game 5 is Friday night. In the NBA, the Oklahoma City Thunder and San Antonio Spurs are duking it out for the Western Conference Finals. Game 6 is tonight. Oklahoma City leads 3-2. Winner of that series will play the New York Knicks, the winners of the Eastern Conference Championship. Got the French Open going on this week and next week. It's into the second round. No real huge upset yet on the men's side. The women's side, the number 2 seed was upset. That was Elena Rybakina of Russia. More news on that as things progress. And some big news in the NFL. Green Bay Packer running back Josh Jacobs was arrested. Did you see that story?
Yeah, he beat up on his wife.
Yeah,
Or
girlfriend.
Somebody's wife.
This is a big story because he is really a big part of their offense, and Packers fans are really nervous about this because the NFL has a very strong personal conduct policy, especially regarding domestic violence, and if he is charged, he will be suspended. And the suspension, the minimum is 6 games, and it's possible he could be suspended for a year or longer, or possibly be booted out of the NFL.
Is there
if
a
he's
chance
found
he
guilty.
could go to jail?
Well, that's up to, obviously, to
I know,
Brown
but-
County prosecutors, but certainly I think that one of the charges is a felony. There was 5 charges, 4 of them were misdemeanor charges, and one was a felony charge. That's big stuff.
And where did this happen?
This happened in Brown County, just outside of Green Bay, apparently.
So it happened in Wisconsin.
Yes, yes.
Well, they might take care of him.
Yeah. So we'll see. I will imagine that our Green Bay Packers fans like Kyle might be a little distraught about this news. So that'll do it for sports this morning. And we will be talking to
Mike McCoy.
Mike McCoy coming up very shortly here.
We'll find out what's going on at this new place. They just dedicated a new building on Commerce. Did we find out where that was?
Yeah.
Yes, it's just south of Route 6 off of Knoxville near the Kroger store.
Okay.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yes,
Okay. All right.
short little.
Oh, so it's in there with like was it
RLI.
RLI?
No, that's I think further
By
out
the
than
Kroger. Yeah.
Right by
Yeah.
That's,
okay.
Well, we'll find out because Mike is on the line. Good morning, Mike McCoy.
Hey, good morning, everybody. How are you guys?
Okay, we were talking about the location of the new St. Jude Alsac fundraising office. Is exactly where, Mike?
It's called 1320 Commerce. It's like out just north of the Kroger Shopping Center at RLI out there on that entry road, back in the back where there used to be a gym back there and stuff. And we've got the whole big new building. It's beautiful.
Yes, and tell everybody exactly what will be the function and the mission on behalf of the St. Jude office, and that has not changed, but the location has changed. Tell us what's going to go on there.
Yeah, it's just the location. Peoria has one of the most successful ALSAC, which American Lebanese Syrian Associated Charities, which is the fundraising arm of St. Jude, has one of the best fundraising groups in the country. And there are 10 people that are stationed out there doing fundraising in northern and southern Illinois, part of Indiana, and all of Iowa. They raise money for St. Jude, the research hospital. And that's their new home. And what a beautiful place. They needed a new place. They're safe out there, and everybody's pretty excited.
Yeah, Mike, I don't know how much you can say or you want to say, but there are a number of people, as you know, I've been long associated with St. Jude since 1971. And the question is, will children who are diagnosed, will they be referred to St. Francis by pediatricians, or will they be referred to the St. Jude Hospital, or will they make the decision, family make the decision on their own? Can you kind of clarify what happens with these children when they're diagnosed in the central Illinois area?
Sure. A doctor can refer a patient to St. Jude, or the parents can ask a doctor for a referral to go to St. Jude, or they could go to any place else that they want to be treated. Obviously, St. Jude is the premier research hospital in the world. If you don't have research, you don't have any cures. So that's the importance St. Jude plays not only to our community, but the communities of the world. So if you, if you want to go to St. Jude and get your diagnosis and your treatment and your protocol, if you qualify, then you can get your treatment and treatment plan from Memphis and at Memphis at no charge. Or you can get treated at someplace local and pay. So it depends upon what families want to do. Any family can tell their doctor, I want a referral from St. Jude. If they say your kid has cancer or any one of the catastrophic diseases that they're doing. They do sickle cell anemia, bird flu, the flus, everything at St. Jude. And your doctor can give you a St. Jude referral.
And again, the mission has not changed that if it is a child treated at St. Jude, in this case in Memphis, the continued free care will be one of the reasons why you and all the hundreds, if not thousands, of volunteers will continue to raise money so that the family will not pay for that care and some of the accessory expenses, such as staying in a hotel if they take the child to Memphis, and travel, food, etc., and so forth. So it's important to emphasize that, because that's what you will continue to do as a leader of St. Jude with all the runs and the various fundraising events.
You're exactly right, Roger. That's what they do. And the other thing about St. Jude is at St. Jude you see your doctor every day. And they have the housing down there that they just built now. They have 1, 2, and 3 bedroom apartments. You know, the old days of staying in the hotels are just about over. They've got the Ronald McDonald House, the Target House, and they have 2 villages now that they've built, and it's absolutely beautiful. And, you know, 4,500 scientists and doctors treating the kids down there at no cost. Some families now are going to have some decisions that they have to make in the Peoria area because of the recent actions by some organizations here in Peoria. So we know that the research that they're doing is saving kids everywhere. I think most of the people in Peoria, if you've been reading Facebook, understand that. And we're going to keep working hard. And this new building, under the direction of Molly Graham, is just going to amplify and make better what they can do with the money that we're raising.
This is kind of a personal question, but I'll ask it anyway, Mike. Have you received feedback from some of the families that have the children undergoing treatment through St. Jude today?
Oh, absolutely. The phone lines, as you know, the last couple of weeks have been flooded. You know, and you can read. I'm sure people have read some of the things about some of the parents and some of the kids have said about the great treatment they get at St. Jude with the protocols. And most people are not very happy with some of the decisions that have been made in the last couple of weeks. But you know, like I said, the research is going to go on. The Peoria community has supported St. Jude since 1962, as you know, and some of your former board members that were on when you were making these great decisions have really spoken out, you know, in favor of what St. Jude is doing now and how we're doing it with the new facility out there on Commerce Lane.
Yeah, and I think the good word to describe it, the decisions have been rather unsettling for families and their children undergoing treatment for cancer. Just a wild question here, and I know you can throw a figure out. How much money do you believe has been raised since you got involved with Gene Pratt and the first fundraiser at Landmark around the track? What's a wild estimate of how much money you've raised on behalf of the children of St. Jude?
Well, right now, with the Run, Ride, and Drive, we're at about $118 million. Mm-hmm. The run alone this year is at $94.5 million. This is the 45th year of the run in August, and we're hoping to we'll top the $100 million mark this year for the run. So I'm pretty proud of all the people that help run those events, and they're doing a great job, and we're going to have a great year. We're going to continue doing what we've done best in the past, and in fact, the support for the last couple of weeks has just been unbelievable. People that we've never even heard of are you know, now coming our way.
Yeah. One final question I want to remind you before you answer. We have a retired physician, Dr. Gene Sidler, in the studio, and the question is, how much longer do you think your knees will carry you?
They quit about 5 years ago. I've got the 2 new knees, and you know, I run my miles, but that's about it. But I'm glad I got knee problems instead of all the problems you were talking about earlier and getting them things taken off.
And, you know, I can't let you go without complimenting your running buddy for many years, Tommy Kahn. I remember when we had breakfast with Royce and Roger at WOAM on Meadowbrook Lane, and I would see you and Tommy and maybe 1 or 2 other guys with your group early in the morning running. I don't know how you did it, but you've been doing it for so many wonderful years, and I commend you for your continued leadership on behalf of the children of St. Jude.
Thanks a lot, Roger. And, you know, I talk to Tommy a couple times a week, and old Tommy, you know, was when Al Shipman got hurt at Spalding, it was Tommy that filled in at fullback, and I can still remember a picture of that of him with his head down and his arm up running over somebody. He's a tough guy, that kind of kid is.
Yeah, and a wonderful guy, just a wonderful guy.
Oh,
I appreciate it.
Unbelievable.
Thanks, Mike. Have a great day, my friend. Keep up the good work.
Thanks, you guys.
You
See you,
bet.
Mike.
Thanks, Roger. Thanks.
You know, Dr. Sidler, is knee replacement one of the most frequent surgeries on people over the age of 50?
Well, yes, joint replacements, and that includes knees and hips, and even some other joints have become widely done all over the country, and it helps keep people mobile. If you maybe recall when you were a young man, your grandparents, when they couldn't move much anymore, the solution was a rocking chair, basically.
Yeah.
And that was not so healthy when you can't move around and do much physically. And joint replacements have allowed people to continue their lives and be productive, even return to work and do things that they wouldn't otherwise be able to do.
Do you think, I don't know whether you have a statistic or you want to take a shot at it, do you think a large majority of those needing knee replacement in particular are former athletes?
Well, I wouldn't say a large majority, because most people aren't athletes, and the majority of patients that undergo surgery like that aren't athletes. But certainly being an athlete and having a lot of wear and tear and contact type injuries is going to increase your likelihood later in life of needing a knee replacement or a hip replacement. So yeah, that's part of what goes with the job, I guess, of being an athlete, the expectation that it's going to take a toll on your body.
Yeah, I think my brother, who played football and, of course, baseball, as you know, was a pitcher, I think he had both knees replaced. Yeah, I think he had a hip replacement, and he had surgery on his shoulder by a noted orthopedic surgeon in Chicago, not once but twice. And I often said to myself, you know, Roger, you weren't worth a crap as an athlete, and I'm kind of happy now about it. I wasn't happy about it then, but when I saw what my brother went through, I'm not. Let me ask you, if the three of you, and I know you have athletic skills, I've seen you on the tennis court, and you're no Jimmy Connors, maybe in personality, but at any rate, no, I'm just kidding. But and Mike and Terry, if you had the opportunity to be an athlete, knowing that in later life you were going to undergo the knife multiple times, would you still do it?
Oh, I mean, yeah, probably.
You would.
Most athletes,
Yeah.
I'm sure, would say that they
still
would.
would.
That's the mindset of an athlete. Yeah.
There isn't anything more exciting, even with the grease paint and the roar of the crowd, than having people applaud your making a game-winning basket or scoring a game-winning touchdown or hitting a game-winning home run. On the other hand, both of you have performed on stage, and you can't beat the sound of applause. I'll give an example. I emceed the
Oh yeah, you had a big MC weekend.
the program on Memorial Day at the riverfront, and when I ended, I got a nice crowd. And you know, when that happens, you don't have to go home and take medication. It just lifts your spirits.
Yeah. Well, and the thing of it is, whether you're on stage or on a field, I mean, I think the basic feeling is the same, and it's, you feel the crowd, whether they're standing in bleachers or sitting in theater seats. I mean, it's the sensation is essentially the same, but you generally take less of a beating when you're on stage. Than you do on a field.
I mean, let's face it, it's an ego thing, right?
Yeah,
I mean, you
Roy
can't
said
get up
he
on
always-
that stage without that ego,
No.
you know. And
Well, I don't know about that, but Roy said what turned him on was the smell of the crowd.
the smell of the crowd.
Yeah, the roar of the grease paint.
The roar of the grease
crowd, yeah.
I think he had a little back.
He might have.
Well, it depends on what you're using for grease paint. If you're actually using grease.
Or where that crowd is.
Yeah.
What time of the year, too?
Oh
All
my.
right, let's get into For investment questions and information, how about thinking about the name Bob Manning? He's with the Grandview Capital Group at Morgan Stanley in Peoria. He is Senior Vice President, has been in the investment advisory field now for more than 27 years. And you can reach him at 309-671-4600. 4653, Morgan Stanley, Smith Barney LLC, member SIP. And you know, gentlemen, before we get into the news, it is amazing. We're paying a lot for groceries. We're paying a lot for gasoline. We're paying a lot for a lot of things. But it is amazing if you have any kind of a portfolio, what has happened on Wall Street. You know, we were at 50,000, and then we went all the way down to what, 47,000 on the Dow, and now it's reached record levels of over 50,000. The S&P 500 has set a record, and just about every category or index is amazing. And I don't know what the percentage is of Americans who have retirement plans or 401 or whatever, and they're making big bucks. It is amazing.
Well, I mean, and in the end, the question's going to be how much of that 401k are you going to be able to use to fund your retirement, and how much of it is the government going to come in and swoop and snatch out of your bank account?
Yeah, well,
So,
that's a good point.
It's a double-edged sword, and I think there's a large swath of the community out there that are basically saying, well, wait a minute, I'm working at Dollar General, and I don't have a 401k, or I don't, I used all my, I sold all my Caterpillar stock so that I could buy
A Lexus car.
or hopefully you're buying property, but you spend that money and now you no longer have the nest egg.
You know, Mike, I've always admired your intellect, and it just went up volumes when you use the term a large swath. I mean, how many people talk like that?
Yeah.
I mean, it's people
who own great tracts of land.
Yeah, large swath. I mean,
that's right.
you just don't. Maybe great authors like Longfellow.
Yeah.
Well,
Or
Abraham Lincoln was the one who said words are a lawyer's only stock and trade.
well, with the stock and trade of the news, here's Mike.
Thank you, Roger.
With a large swath of news.
With a swath.
Swath.com is available.
It is available?
Yes, we can register the domain name swath.com.
Peoria City Council this week reminded everyone that they are eager to see construction of another entertainment venue in the city. The council approved agreements with Terra Engineering and Core Construction to begin development of a 5,000-seat amphitheater and festival park on the riverfront. The entire project will be funded by an $11 million grant from the Hengst Foundation of Washington. While the Heart of Illinois Fair is gone, the land isn't. The city last year paid $1.2 million for 70 acres of exposition gardens, with hopes that a developer will construct up to 200 homes on the property. The city and Peoria School District have agreed to swap some land at the gardens and Ridgewoods High School. The city gets an access road to University, and the school district receives 6 acres near the bus parking lot. The district will use some of the newly acquired land for a facilities building. In other council news, members approved a new 3-year contract with the company that provides shot spotter technology. It'll cost taxpayers $316,000, but Police Chief Brad Dixon says it's a vital part of the crime-fighting arsenal. A 2-vehicle accident at a university in Gift shortly before 10 yesterday morning sent 2 people to a local hospital. One of the vehicles went out of control and crashed into a vacant house. No word on the condition of the injured. Peoria police announced the arrest of 21-year-old O'Marvelous Blakes in connection with 2 shootings. The alleged gunman was grabbed by officers in an area of Lexington Hills apartments this week. He's accused of shooting a 19-year-old woman in the leg on Sunday, May 3rd, in the 2700 block of West Fremont Street in the city's south side, and the wounding of a 17-year-old Friday, March 8th, in the 800 block of West Thrush. That teen suffered a serious facial injury. Quick thinking by a family member prevented a possible school shooting in Plainfield, Illinois. It's a village about 40 miles south of Chicago. The family member learned that a juvenile, armed with a Glock handgun, was on his way to Grand Prairie Elementary School with plans to shoot everyone and himself. However, the relative apprehended the youth and called 911 for help. Will County deputies searched the juvenile's backpack and found multiple loaded magazines, knives, and gloves with an accelerant. They cut the ribbon at the new Peoria fundraising headquarters of the St. Jude Children's Hospital yesterday at 1320 West Commerce Drive, just off North Knoxville. A large crowd of supporters were there on hand to remind everyone of the ongoing programs, runs, and other events that help families of children stricken with cancer. OSF St. Francis terminated its cooperative agreement with the National St. Jude Hospital, apparently deciding to go it alone. President Trump and his team are still trying to reach a peace agreement with Iran, but it hasn't happened yet. There's a ceasefire in place, but you wouldn't know it. U.S. forces shot down 4 Iranian drones in the Straits of Hormuz in what they called a defensive measure. They also hit the launching site of the drones as the Iranians were getting ready to send up yet another one into the air. And finally, President Trump went to the hospital yesterday for a good reason. It was time for his 6-month physical at Walter Reed Memorial Hospital, and he says he passed it with flying colors. After the 3-hour exam, the 79-year-old Trump said everything was perfect. And Roger, that's it for news at the bottom of the hour.
Advanced Medical Transport, Central Illinois, now bringing you the weather this morning. Since 1991, the men and women of AMT have been saving lives with paramedics and EMTs. AMT, serves 65 communities with 54,000 emergency calls a year. When seconds count on Advanced Medical Transport of Central Illinois.
Sunny and warm today, Roger. High 86, overnight low 57 tomorrow. Partly sunny 82, Saturday sunshine 82, Sunday 81. So I guess it's going to be in the 80s and a lot of sun out there. Right now, 65 degrees at the wazoo.
Oh, it's going to be a gorgeous day today. We were talking a few minutes ago about, I think you mentioned about the eagles of appearing before.
Well, that's what it takes
crowds
to,
of people
you got to have a little bit of that to just get up there.
Fortunately, we are on YouTube now. Not the largest audience in the world, but it's growing. What's the word? Exponentially, whatever that word means. I like swath better than that word, but wouldn't it be wonderful if we did our show at an amphitheater in the morning?
Live?
Yeah, and we had a band. And do you think we could attract a large number of people?
At least 10.
I think it would.
You're getting into Tonight Show territory with that stuff.
Well, that's right. But I can just picture how exciting it would be to hear the announcer say, "Now, ladies and gentlemen."
Ladies and gentlemen.
Do it.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, give us an introduction.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, here we are live with Roger and Friends.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much. Wouldn't that be wonderful?
It would be great. But during the pet tip, we couldn't talk because we usually cuss a lot and things like that.
And one of the dogs might bite us.
Yeah.
Have any of you ever been the victim of a dog bite?
Mm-hmm.
You have?
Oh, yeah. I was delivering papers. What's that dog? Spook was the dog's name. Yeah, no, seriously, it was a clams dog.
What kind of a dog?
Just
one
a
that
half
bites.
Breed, just one that bites.
That's well, we've said it a number of times. A favorite joke. I think your dad told it, or Royce maybe both or 3 times about a guy walking down the street. Here comes a guy with a dog on the leash. And he said, "A nice dog." He said, "Does your dog bite?" And he said, "No." And he reached down, the dog bit him. And he said, "I thought you said your dog didn't bite." And he says, "He doesn't. This is not my dog."
That's my dog.
not my dog. I have been.
You've been bitten?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you. My dad used to own a couple of apartment buildings on Moss Avenue, right by Union Hill.
Oh, yeah.
And my job was to go over and cut the grass.
Where's Union Hill?
Union Hill, 7th Avenue.
Well, yeah, it's like
It was called Union Hill, but it was an offshoot of 7th Avenue,
yeah,
right?
it's where 7th Avenue turned
When
up
you-
to Moss, where the
Washington grade school
grade
is,
school used
yeah.
to be, yeah.
And, and his was, buildings were on the riverside of Moss Avenue. Well, the big athlete, gosh, I'm trying to think of his name, was living, went to Manual, and he was a tough guy. He was a good football player, a very tough guy. At any rate, he was outside, and he had a German Shepherd.
Oh.
And he had just retrieved a garbage can, and I was talking to him, and his dog kept sniffing my leg. And the next thing I know, he took a bite out of me, and I went, ow, on my thigh, my right thigh.
Wow.
And he said, did my dog bite? And I said, yeah. And he threw the garbage can at the dog.
Oh, really?
And he did break skin on it.
Oh.
And
Ouch.
oh,
You know what's
yeah.
worse than a dog fight? I mean, than a dog bite is a cat. Because a
Oh, yeah.
dog will kind of grab and kind of pull. A cat just goes straight
Right.
down.
Yeah.
And you get to the
Oh, really?
bone, and you get a bone, you get that cat scratch fever. No, that's a real thing, isn't it, Doc? Isn't that a real thing?
Not from a bite, from a scratch.
Well, oh, really?
Yeah, because they
They have
get in
their
their
claws.
poop box and they get these
their
bacteria
what?
on
Yeah,
Oh, the litter box.
litter
Okay,
box.
okay.
And they
Yeah,
get
some
these,
call it poop box.
Yeah, I should know.
Yeah.
Oh, I, know.
I like a little
I'm not a
box.
cat owner. I don't know.
Yeah. Poop box.
But you can get
It's
cat
okay.
scratch fever, and then isn't it when a cat bites something, they can bite you like down to the bone?
Gee, I don't know. Cat,
Yeah, cat.
little tiny
No,
mouth.
cat bites
I-
are worse than
They're
dog
like
bites.
little needles for teeth.
They're worse
yes,
than
they
dog
have very
bites.
sharp teeth.
Yeah. Okay, they'll get right down to your bones, and then they get a bone infection.
You know, the worst type of bite is a human bite.
Excuse me?
A human bite.
I don't think I've ever been bitten by a human.
Well, you're fortunate then.
You've been bitten by a human?
Me? No, I have not. But
But you've treated people?
but yes, when you get
Well,
people,
how?
people get in fights and they bite.
Okay.
Well, what was
that's
the
part of-
remember the famous
Okay.
fight?
Well,
the
yeah,
fighter,
Holyfield.
where he bit
his ear off.
Was it Ezra
Yes.
Charles?
No, it was Holyfield and Tyson.
Yeah.
Tyson bit his ear off.
Tyson. He's the guy that started that chicken company.
Well,
something like
yeah,
that.
yeah. Chicken.
Anyway,
Yes. Anyway, a
humans
human
carry
bite.
more harmful bacteria, and
The mouth is terrible. isn't it?
Really? You've
the,
treated human bites?
Oh, they get infected very easily, and they are often very serious.
Where
infections.
would they be? Typically, where does a
Well, the
human
mouth
bite?
Hand,
is just
arm,
below
leg.
the nose.
Really?
Wherever somebody bites you.
Wow. I just never. I guess I never. Wow.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I've never been bitten that hard. I mean, I've been a little nibbling before, but never bitten.
I've heard it's
It's
Well,
actually,
you know what I mean.
hang around an emergency room, and you will see human bites.
Really?
And you hung around an emergency room in California for how long? How many years?
Oh, about a 6-hour shift.
So,
Wow.
No,
6 hours shift.
I spent some time working in.
So what do you
emergency.
do? How do you fix a
Well,
people bite?
Generally, you don't want to suture it because that seals in
The bacteria
infection, and it can make it worse. So you give antibiotics, you clean the wound, you vaccinate people if they haven't had their
Oh my!
tetanus shot.
Yeah. And when
You
you
get
talk
tetanus
about
from a human bite?
If it gets infected, tetanus comes not from the
In
bite,
many
but
ways.
from.
People think it comes from rusty stuff.
And again, that's a myth.
That's
that's a myth, isn't it? Yeah.
Clostridium tetani, which is the bacteria that causes tetanus, is found in the dirt, in the soil.
Okay. All right.
It's also found in a rusty nail, but much more likely just a dirty wound.
Yeah. Speaking of bacteria, once again, kind of talk about what took the life of Kyle Busch. They're still talking about
Oh, that was
how
weird.
he developed pneumonia and apparently
Sepsis.
didn't know he was struggling with pneumonia until he started having shortness of breath.
Well, his death certificate was released and is public now. It lists the primary cause of death as sepsis. That's when bacteria spreads through the bloodstream. It leads, on his death certificate, it also lists something called DIC, disseminated intravascular coagulation. I'm sure you guys are all very familiar with
Yes,
that.
I am.
I couldn't even say that. Are you kidding me?
It's a condition in the bloodstream where toxic products from the bacteria will promote blood clotting, and so the blood vessels all start to clot and close down, and it leads to organ failure. And in his case, it led also to bleeding into his lungs and filling up of his lungs and respiratory distress. What ultimately he died from, it's hard to say, probably from the respiratory distress, but also contributing where all of his organs shut down. It listed pneumonia as the preceding cause, and the death certificate has a little space after each diagnosis to list how long it has been present, and the doctor filling it out listed weeks. So they are presuming that he had had this pneumonia for weeks, leading up to the much more serious things then that occurred in the days right before he died.
How common is that, doctor?
Well, it's very uncommon because most people, when they have pneumonia, are sick enough to seek medical attention pretty quickly at that point. And so it isn't going to lead to that much more serious state of, sepsis. And
So this was something that's curable, and he could have lived.
I would
With
presume
early
so.
diagnosis,
Yeah,
yes. probably.
it's very likely. Most pneumonias nowadays are curable.
Yeah.
It's still, I looked it up to see where pneumonia lists on the list of most common causes of deaths. And as of 2025, it was listed as the 10th most common cause of death. It used to be number one for most of the last
But I'd venture
100
to
or
say,
200 years.
I'd venture to say most of those pneumonia deaths were an older population. You don't typically see that. I think at 41, Kyle Busch thought he was above getting ill.
Bulletproof,
Yeah,
right.
he was kind of the
Well,
epitome of masculinity.
If you're going to sit there and drive a 4 or 5 ton car at 200 plus miles an hour in an oval, making nothing but left-hand turns,
You're crazy.
among 25 or 30 other cars,
Yeah, you're nuts.
You've got to have a level of self-confidence that hey, I'll be fine. I'm busy. I'll get to it later.
Now, here's a question for you, Doctor. That is, if he had had the pneumonia vaccine, would he have survived?
That would depend on whether it was the right bacteria that was causing his pneumonia. If it was the strep pneumonia bacteria, and that's the only thing that the pneumonia vaccine is good for, is for, I think it's now got 4 or 5 different strains. There's about 25 different subclasses of strep pneumonia, and the most likely ones to cause pneumonia infection are included in the pneumonia vaccine. So it's only good for this strep strain that is the cause of most pneumonias.
They don't tell you that in their commercial, do they?
Yeah, about 50 to 60% of pneumonias are caused by Streptococcus pneumonia.
So you're getting maybe 50 to 60%.
So you're not
protection.
protected against all pneumonias. And
Why is this has always confused me? Why is pneumonia spelled with a P?
comes from a Greek pneumos with a that
you-
somehow has a P on it.
Yeah,
refers to the
Pneumona
lungs.
Yeah.
Well, you're supposed to pronounce it pneumonia.
No,
Yeah.
it's pneumonia.
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 Why does every important discussion devolve?
Not about
sixth grade
goes down
silliness
the
here.
hill, down the toilet. Let's talk. I'm going to talk about a positive story. And, I've been at this business for 10 years, and I search for stories that I think will be interesting and relevant to our audience. And the story that I found was really pushed back and is not getting a lot of attention. And that's a story about the juvenile in Plainfield, Illinois, loaded with a Glock. And you guys know more about what a Glock handgun is. He had loaded magazines. He had, and I'm not talking about Life, Newsweek, or Time magazines, ammunition magazines, and knives and also said an accelerant, and that could be just about anything, could it not, Mike?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
he could have been a can of lighter fluid for
Yeah.
all we know, but yeah, the guy sounds like the kid was loaded for bear.
Yeah, and he was headed to an elementary school when a relative, and they don't identify the relative,
Yeah.
intercepted. Had that relative not done that, we would have had some dead kids, and that story should be a big story in the country for one reason primarily, but other reasons, but primarily, and that is family members need to stay in touch with their children,
Yeah.
particularly if they are troubled kids. And this juvenile had to be troubled. But a tip of the hat to that family members, because that he or she probably saved countless numbers of lives in a grade school.
I mean, I don't think there's any question about that. You know, relatives, and this is why family really matters. It's not that, oh, you know, we need a lot of people so they can snitch on each other. Just family knows what's going
You
on,
bet
or
they do.
they should know what's going on. They should have, you know, their fingers on the pulse of what's going on in their family, what's going on around them, because this is the quickest way and the safest way for us to keep society generally from unraveling. Because, you know, if we aren't, you know, we are, in fact, our brother's keeper. And when we see people around us, and it's whether or not they're your, you know, family or our chosen family, you know, the people that we choose to have close to us, you want the best for them. You want what's going to make them happy. And when you see them unhappy, when you see them struggling, or even drowning, it's incumbent upon us to reach out and see what we can do to help. And when we see something like this, I mean, there's going to be a section of people out there that goes, well, you know, you shouldn't butt into this. No, I mean, your actions have far-reaching consequences, particularly in something like this, when you see something and you say something, and you know, in fact, your small act has saved multiple tragedies for families in this grade school. I mean, I can't even imagine the havoc this kid could have caused. And why? Is it because he was a terrible kid? Probably not. Maybe he's been picked on. Maybe a family member just, you know, pushed one button too many times. Maybe he's not getting the attention or the help he needs at home. I mean, we don't know.
We don't know what
But
happened.
this one step that this relative took not only saved potentially a bunch of children's lives, it probably also saved this kid's life.
Yeah, he probably would have. It's just, anyway, it's a terrible story, but it's a happy story with
Yeah.
the ending, in the sense that this could have been a disaster. And you look back on some of the other kids that have been involved in shootings, and as information was coming out, people did admit they were worried about this kid down in Texas particularly. How that kid got into the school, and I forget the name of the town of the school or whatever.
Uvalde, Texas.
Yeah, that was it. How he got in, you see the video on the school camera carrying this long rifle. I mean, the way that the thing turned out, he could have rolled
the door propped open because they didn't like to have to go through the
get up off their lazy butts.
unlocking it.
Yeah. There's so we are learning, but I wanted to bring that story up because that person needs to be commended for what they
We don't have the
what they
facilities
did.
anymore. We don't have the mental health
No,
facilities to help with these situations, and so we're all going to have to be a little bit more.
Yeah, we were talking the other day about the closure of the Zeller Zone Center, the Peoria State Hospital, the hospital in Jacksonville, Illinois, which was a mental facility, has been closed, and the building's demolished, and yet there has never been a greater need for mental health facilities as there is today.
And you know, there was a story that was big in the news just 2 weeks ago, maybe, the shooting at the Islamic
Yes.
Center out in San Diego.
Yeah.
And that story just disappeared.
Yeah,
It-
well,
it isn't anywhere in the news now.
You're right.
There were two high school kids, or teenagers. I guess one was 18, one was 19, so maybe they weren't high school kids. but-
17 and 19,
yeah, 17 and 19. Just a crazy story about, and then they did have a manifesto, a 75-page manifesto that.
Was it 75?
Yes, and it ranted on and on about all the things and all the people they hate. It was just filled with this incredible amount of hatred for various segments of the population and people that, you know, some people trying to figure out which side of the political spectrum they were on. They
Right.
hated everybody.
Yeah, I mean, the thing of it is, it dropped off of the media's attention because it doesn't serve anyone's particular
Yes,
agenda.
you're right.
These, you know,
Very
these were very angsty, angry, mad at the world teens who just wanted. I mean, realistically, what did they want? They wanted attention. Yeah, I feel disenfranchised, so I hate the Muslims. I hate the Jews. I hate the Catholics. You know, government's terrible. Let's burn it all down. And unless some of these tragedies fit their agenda, how often or how long do these the shootings by some of these trans people they happen and then they're there and then they're gone. They don't serve the agenda, so they're deep-sixed, and that's it.
Yep, that's right. Sunny and warm today, a high of 86. What do you have as the temperature right now?
65.
60. I'm going to guess that.
Is that what's our crawl say?
I'm showing 69.
69.
on
Wow, it
my
really jumped.
AccuWeather.
69
It really jumped to
degrees.
69.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you have a show coming up?
I'm done. I'm
you-
done. I'm done
Well,
for the year.
I know you're done, but do you have any shows coming up?
Yeah.
I thought that
Well,
was
in
fun.
Florida, we're putting some stuff together.
Yeah, in Florida, really?
Yes.
No wonder you want your own kind of a sage facility
we're gonna
for
do a
accommodation.
fundraiser down there.
oh, you
Yeah, I found an area down there called Westonwood Ranch. It's very, very interesting. This individual, they had a handicapped child, and throughout their process of raising this child, he was nonverbal. They'll age out at a certain place, and there's no more help.
Yeah.
So this family bought about 80, 90 acres of property. They've got an indoor, what do they call it, hydroponic area where they grow lettuce for local hospitals. And they teach these young adults that are handicapped on the spectrum. They've got horses they ride. They make candles there.
Great. How'd you come across it?
Well, this lady had come to a church that my wife went to and gave a presentation.
In Florida.
In Florida. They're raising money to build tiny homes on this property so these individuals could live there.
Have you seen some of these tiny homes on television?
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
pretty neat.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, Tesla's got a pretty cool looking one.
Tesla?
Yeah, Tesla makes a tiny home.
And if you don't
You
want
can
to
buy
live
them
in
on
it,
Amazon.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can buy them on
you can
Amazon.
buy a
Yeah.
Tesla home
They'll
for
put
like how
maps on
much?
where your property ever
And they
is.
fold them up
you-
and they
you
unfold them. And,
Really?
yeah. But it's pretty cool. This ranch is pretty, so we got to know them. It's kind of like a penguin project type. They don't do the theater thing, but that they do locally here. Anyway, they
So
asked
you're
us.
doing a fundraiser.
They asked us to do a fundraiser.
Oh, that's terrific. When is the date? We might put together
Well, that's what we got to work out when I
a
get there.
bus. I
Yeah.
know where there's an old bus that.
But the great Terry Stokes said he would do it with us, so he'll perform.
He's
with us.
hypnotist as well.
He's the grand
Illusionist.
poobah of the
What's his
stage.
name?
Terry Stokes.
Okay.
Terry was in
pretty good.
Vegas for, I don't know, 30 some years, and I mean he used to do venues with 10,000 in the audience. He is the grand.
Is he
Yeah.
now living near?
He lives in Fort Walton.
Wrightsville?
Yeah,
Okay,
he lives
right,
in Fort
right,
Walton. He's a
right,
good
that
friend,
Panhandle.
and we've done shows together in the past, and he's agreed to do this fundraiser.
Well, let me know. I'll come down and.
yeah. Well, you
I
know
will-
what it
I
is to
will
fly.
answer,
We checked
with
it out.
Allegiant.
because my wife was going to fly. It's a long story with the funeral coming up, blah, blah, blah. $30 to fly from Peoria to Fort Walton.
$30?
What?
Yeah,
It
60
varies
bucks round
day to
trip.
day, but yeah, there
Yeah.
are some days
Wow.
where you can get a really low fare.
$30 to fly from Peoria to Fort Walton.
I can't drive to Chicago for $30.
No,
Well, I can't drive from Morton.
you can't come in here from Morton.
Yeah, it is. Well, let me know. I'll come down and
Okay. All right.
I'll be the MC.
You can
and
MC it.
say,
That'd be
ladies
great.
and gentlemen, what a treat we have for you tonight from Peoria, Illinois, via Allegiant Airlines, the master hypnotist. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Terry Grawey. Terry Grawey, come on out. Put your hands together and applaud Terry Grawey. Here he is. There he goes.
Where it began, I can begin to know it, but then I know that it's growing strong. Wasn't the spring, and spring became the summer. Who'd have believed you'd all come along? Touching hands, yeah, reaching out, yeah, touching me, touching me. Sweet Caroline, good times never seem so.
And we'll continue with Terry Grawey on stage. In the meantime, we break for the news, weather, and sports. We'll start with the weather, brought to you by Sam Lilly and Associates. Sam providing a comprehensive range of insurance products, including personal auto, home life, and medical coverage. Sam specializes in Medicare plans and options, something he's been doing during his 40 years in the business. Sam knows insurance, and you can reach Sam Lilly today at 309-245-4374. Now the weather.
Beautiful next couple of days, Roger. Sunny and warm today, high 86, overnight low 57. Tomorrow, just partly sunny, but 82. Saturday, sunshine and 82 again. Sunday, 81. Right now, it's 69 degrees.
And a little reminder, you're having breakfast with Roger and Friends on WAZU, FM 90.7 in Peoria, Illinois, and also on YouTube. Now with our lead story, Mike Dentino.
Thank you, Roger. Peoria City Council this week reminded everyone that they are eager to see construction of another entertainment venue in the community. The council approved agreements with Tierra Engineering and Core Construction to begin development of a 5,000-seat amphitheater in Festival Park on the riverfront. The entire project will be funded by an $11 million grant from the Hengst Foundation. Compliments of Jim Hengst, who originally wanted the venue built in Washington in honor of his wife, Dee. However, that city's council rejected the offer.
Well, the Heart of Illinois Fair is long gone. Sam the Candyman is long history.
Candyman.
The land isn't, though. The city last year paid $1.2 million for the 70 acres at Expo, with hopes a developer will construct up to 200 houses on the property. The city and Peoria School District have agreed to swap some land with Richwoods High School. The city gets an access road to university, and Richwoods gets to 6 acres near its bus parking lot. The district will use some of the newly acquired land for facilities building, and if you're so lucky to get one of those $200 and some thousand houses next to a bus and a building.
There you go. Such a
Buy
deal.
get that lot now. That one's going to go quick.
In other council news, members approved a new 3-year contract with a company that provides ShotSpotter technology. It'll cost taxpayers $316,000, but Police Chief Brad Dixon says it's a vital part of its crime-fighting arsenal.
A bad two-vehicle accident at University and Gift shortly before 10 o'clock yesterday morning sent 2 people to local hospital. One of the vehicles went out of control and crashed into a vacant house. No word on the condition of the injured peoples.
Peoria police announced the arrest of 21-year-old O'Marvelous Blakes in connection with 2 shootings.
Oh, that's marvelous.
Absolutely. The alleged gunman was grabbed by officers in the area of Lexington Hills Apartments this week. He's accused of shooting a 19-year-old woman in the leg on Sunday, May 3rd, and in the 2700 block of West Fremont Street on the city's south side, and the wounding of a 17-year-old Friday, May 8th, in the 800 block of West Thrush. That teen suffered a serious facial injury.
Oh, marvelous. Quick thinking by a family member prevented a possible school shooting in Plainfield, Illinois. That's a village about 40 miles south of Chicago. The family member learned a juvenile, armed with a Glock handgun, was on his way to Grand Prairie Elementary School with plans to shoot everyone and himself. However, the relative apprehended the youth and called 911 for help. Will County deputies searched the juvenile's backpack, found multiple loaded magazines, knives, gloves, and an accelerant.
Illinois Senator Dick Durbin will close out his 44 years in public office next January, but he's already saying farewell to supporters. He was given the microphone yesterday to say farewell at a special session of the Illinois General Assembly in Springfield. The 81-year-old Democrat had some not-so-subtle remarks about President Trump and Republicans, using the words of a Republican, Abraham Lincoln, in warnings about political divisions.
They cut the ribbon at the new Peoria fundraising headquarters of the St. Jude Children's Hospital yesterday at 1320 West Commerce Drive, just off of Knoxville Avenue. A large crowd of supporters were on hand to remind everyone of the ongoing programs, runs, and other events to help families of children stricken with cancer. OSF St. Francis terminated its cooperative agreement with the National St. Jude Hospital, apparently deciding to go it alone.
President Trump and his team are still trying to reach a peace agreement with Iran, but it hasn't happened yet. There's a ceasefire in place, but wouldn't you know it, U.S. forces shot down 4 Iranian drones in the Straits of Hormuz in what they called defensive measures. They also hit the launching site of the drones as the Iranians were getting ready to send yet another drone into the air. New report says that the U.S. has currently hit more than 12,000 Iranian military targets.
President Trump went to the hospital yesterday for a good reason. It was time for a 6-month physical at Walter Reed, and he says he passed it with flying colors. After the 3-hour turn and cough exam, the 79-year-old Trump said everything was perfect. Left-wing Associated Press said the medical exam comes under renewed public scrutiny as he's worked to dismiss concerns over his age and stamina. Look, this is just...
He's working to dismiss. He could care less what AP had to say.
Doesn't really care. That same Associated Press that covered up the neurological problems of President Biden for over 4 years. They turned the other way for 4 years.
Yeah,
now
you're
let's
right.
Make some stuff up. That's done news.
Well done. And now we will move to sports with Dr. Gene Sidler. How about the music? You got any music? You know, hard work produces results, and that's why Realty Kathy Reynolds of Home Smart is so successful. She's sponsoring sports with Dr. Gene Sidler, along with BradleyFans.com. And, of course, Kathy works hard to get results for her clients seeking to sell and or buy their next home. Learn more. She'll help you in the hunt for a new place to live. And you can reach Kathy today at 309-696-2162. Now, rounding third base and headed for home, here's Dr. Gene Sidler. Safe!
Oh, I get it. I see a little sports.
Little sports lingo.
Nice. I like that.
Right.
Well, baseball yesterday, the St. Louis Cardinals played an afternoon game against the Milwaukee Brewers. Had them not only shut out, but hitless through 7 innings.
Ooh.
But then 2 runs in the 8th. The Milwaukee Brewers pulled ahead 2-1 and won the game 2-1. Tough loss for the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Cardinals have now lost 4 in a row in 6 of their last 7 games. They drop to a record of 29-25. Now they're 4.5 games behind the Brewers in the National League
Are
Central
they ahead of
Division.
the Cubs, though?
They are tied down with the Cubs.
Oh, both really bad.
Yeah, they're both 4.5 games back. The Cards are off today, but they'll host the Cubs for a weekend series, all-night games.
Will they
including
be in
Sunday
Busch
night.
Stadium?
They
Where are they playing? St. Louis?
They are in St. Louis, yeah.
Okay.
The Cubs will head to St. Louis after their game today. The Cubs beat the Pirates yesterday 10-4 to break their 10-game losing streak and avoid falling into last place in that National League Central. So they remain also 4.5 games behind the division-leading Brewers. Cubs will play the Pittsburgh Pirates one more time tonight in that 4-game series, and then they head to St. Louis for the series against the Cardinals. The White Sox won last night, beat the Minnesota Twins 15-2, pounded out 18 hits, looked impressive in that win. The Sox are playing much better this year. They'll play the Twins in the final game of their 4-game series this afternoon, a 1:10 p.m. game up in Chicago at Rate Field.
At Rayfield, not Comiskey Park?
No, some people still call it Comiskey Park.
Yes, they do.
but,
Or White Sox Park.
Yes, and some people call it Guaranteed Rate Field because that was the company's name up until last year, and they changed it to Rate Field.
Is it the same company?
It's the same company. It's an online mortgage company, one of the largest online mortgage companies. I guess there's big money in online mortgages.
Gee, that cost a lot of money to put that name on there.
Oh, well, sure. Yeah, and we still can't sell the naming rights to the Civic Center.
Yeah.
That's one of the great.
Monroe Civic Center.
Anyway, the Peoria Chiefs in the Midwest League, they played a doubleheader yesterday against the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers. They won game 1 6-0, and that was their 6th win in a row. They're starting to play a little bit better. A little late here for the first half. They're not going to be in contention with the limited number of games left, but they lost the second game last night, 12-7. The Chiefs' record now 22-25, 5th place in that Western Division. They'll play again tonight, and they'll play on through Sunday in their 6-game series. NHL last night, Game 4 of the East Conference Finals. Carolina Hurricane beat the Montreal Canadiens 4-0. Montreal fans were just all excited. They thought they were going to make it to the Stanley Cup Finals for the first time in eons. You know, we haven't had any of those
Canadian team, yeah.
original
I'm not
6
losing
Canadian
any sleep
teams.
over it.
And what's that?
I'm not losing any sleep over that.
Well, they're down now 3-1 in that series. Game Friday night is Game 5 is Friday night. So the winner of that series will meet the Las Vegas Golden Knights. Already have secured a spot in the Stanley Cup Finals. And over in the NBA, the Oklahoma City Thunder and San Antonio Spurs play tonight in Game 6 of the Western Conference Finals. Oklahoma City, last year's champion, won their last game and now have a 3-2 lead. And the winner of that series will face the New York Knicks. And again, you know, because it's New York and it's because the first time they're in the finals in decades, everybody's promoting that. I think they're going to get beat.
The clock cleaned.
Yeah, both the Spurs and the Thunder, I think, are the 2 best teams in the NBA. And I think whoever comes out of that Western Conference series is going to win the championship. But we shall see. They still have to play them on the court. And that's about it for sports.
Yeah, you remember this jingle? Spurs that jingle, jangle, jingle.
Yep.
Gene Autry sang that, did he not? Spurs that jingle,
If
jangle,
you remember
jingle.
it's Gene Autry, it probably is. I don't remember. What's the name of the song?
Spurs that jingle, jangle, jingle. I don't know what I've been... I know the name of the song was titled, I've been lonesome in the saddle since my horse died.
No,
that wasn't it?
That's not it. That's not.
Well,
that
run
makes
through the
sense.
roundhouse, Nellie. They can't corner you there. Here's another one you might not like.
goodness.
Yeah.
The official title is Jingle Jangle Jingle, but also
See?
known as I've Got Spurs That Jingle Jangle Jingle.
Okay, well,
What did I say?
it says it all.
There you go.
Originally recorded by Kay Kaiser.
Kay
Remember
Kaiser.
Kay Kaiser?
And-
Not as well known as all the other big band leaders,
Yeah.
but
He was a founder of Kmart.
no,
Wasn't it? No, his name was Kresge, wasn't it?
Kresge, yes,
It's amazing Kresge.
It did reach
You
number
remember
1
when
on
the
the
Johnny
Billboard
Carson
charts.
did
What
that?
year do you think it reached number 1 on the Billboard?
1946.
A little late. Try pre-war. Well,
42.
early war, let's say.
So,
that. It was July of 1942.
Well, I didn't miss it by too much.
Not
for
much.
A year.
No.
And then it was recorded and released by many other musicians,
Artists.
Tex Ritter, Gene Autry, Glenn Miller, and the Merrimacs.
The Merrimack.
I don't remember them, but you probably might. There
All
you go.
right, so you didn't do well on that quiz, Roger. But I have a quiz for you. This day in history. And you're going to like this question, Gene.
Sports?
For us, no.
Science?
But for a very special reason that will be disclosed
Well, there we go.
when the panel gets it correct. May 28th, 2016. Something happened, and this is a bizarre incident, a very bizarre incident, and it happened in the Midwest. What am I
Does
talking
it have
about?
to do with medicine?
No,
Science?
no. You're doing the right thing. You're getting the categories.
Animals.
Yes,
What, you said animal?
it said animal. You're getting like me, Gene. I think you're
Was it
going to
in
need a
Cincinnati?
hearing aid. We both may need
No,
one.
Midwest.
What was it?
Was it Cincinnati?
Yes.
Was it Harambe?
Correct. Ladies and gentlemen.
The dead gorilla.
What?
This is a gorilla. A boy fell into the gorilla
Yeah.
enclosure.
3 years old.
A 3-year-old boy.
Okay.
This
Right.
big gorilla, male gorilla named Harambe, grabbed the kid and it appeared to be like protecting him, but the officials decided the only way to save the boy was to shoot the gorilla, and they killed it.
Yes. And
Yeah.
PETA and
Oh,
animal rights
it
people
drew
went
all
crazy.
kinds of
How do you
outrage.
know? Were you a fan of
Well,
the
he has
this
family
was good
living in
news. Where were you in
Cincinnati.
2016?
Must have been drunk. Huh?
you remember this?
I remember it.
I-
Yeah.
It's
I
still
still-
Yeah.
it's still a meme today that people use the name of Harambe in this story. Yes.
I was.
Yeah.
Google
I was
it.
busy.
I-
16.
It
Yeah,
happened. Here are the details,
At the,
children.
yeah, I've been to that zoo many times.
Have you?
Yeah.
What's the name? What's the name
No,
of the zoo?
Cincinnati Zoo.
No, and Botanical Garden.
And
Yeah,
No, well, you forgot the garden part.
Staff shot and killed Harambe, who was a western lowland gorilla. How old was he? How old was the gorilla? He was a teenager.
13.
Oh God.
That was close.
Well, I just looked it up, so I can't.
17 years old.
Okay.
It was huge.
He's
Oh, yeah.
huge gorilla, yeah.
They shot Harambe to bring the boy to safety. Recorded video of the incident
There's-
spurred immediate outrage, anger from many animal activist groups, with some saying that the incident did not necessitate the killing of the animal. The boy, now listen to this, boys and girls, the boy was alone with the gorilla for how long?
30 minutes.
10 to 15 minutes.
Okay.
Harambe became anxious, increasingly anxious and agitated because of the noises made by onlookers during the incident, and that affected the staff's decision to shoot the animal for the boy's safety. Now listen to what the boy had to do to get with the gorilla. Are you ready?
Ready.
Yeah.
All right. The boy had to climb a 3-foot fence, go through 4 feet of bushes, and fall 15 feet to enter the enclosure, causing critics to request charges against the mother,
Oh,
who they claimed had not supervised her son adequately, resulting in the tragic loss of the animal. So
Well,
they turned their hatred, and that's what it is, on the mother. And you know what? I can understand that. Where were you, Mom,
Yeah.
with a 3-year-old to do what he did? And other questions that could be asked: did the mother say to the child, "Tell Harambe, shake hands with him, and say adios, goodbye"?
Here's some of the video that was shot by
it
an
was in
onlooker.
water too.
Well, there's like a moat. The
okay.
gorilla actually lived up above that concrete wall on a grassy area, but he jumped down there and grabbed a hold of the boy
Wow,
and,
that's really
then held on to him.
great video.
They have since built up a much higher protective fence to prevent that, and I think other zoos followed suit when they,
Right.
learned of this story. And
That 3-year-old is so tiny,
And
and
he got a concussion though.
and
yeah,
must
he
have hit his
appeared to be almost like semi-conscious during much
Yeah.
of the time that he was being held by the gorilla.
Oh, really?
10 minutes he was held by that gorilla?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then they...
Well,
How would they have gotten away? You know, I don't know. I don't want to make that
if it
call.
had, this is a male gorilla. If it had been a female gorilla, you wonder if there's some motherly instinct
yeah,
involved.
right.
But it was a
But a
male.
male gorilla, they don't usually
they're not
treat
familiar.
the little mini gorillas.
Well,
well.
the fact is, in the animal kingdom, most of the time, a male of a particular species will eliminate
Yes.
cubs or young that aren't his.
Okay, so here's a question panel. I'll poll you. Did the zoo do the right thing, Terry Ground?
I don't know. That's
Well, you got to say now. You
can't.
can't vacillate on this. They had to make a decision.
You have to
So
make a decision.
you're sitting in the comfort. You
gotta
just
go with
had
the
a
human-
donut,
yeah.
and so you should feel comfortable. What would you do if you were there and you had the rifle? What would you have
Did
done?
they trank him? Did they think about that?
That's a good question. That has been raised. Why
Well,
didn't
but-
they just use the
but
tranquilizer?
Now wait a minute. We're
saying
Monday
it's
morning
either one- you're
quarterback.
saying it's either yes or no.
I'm awaiting Terry's answer.
You got to say yes, he did, or they didn't do the right thing.
I say yes, they did.
Okay,
I
Mike.
think their hand was forced because you can't predict
The
the
behavior.
behavior
Yeah.
of Harambe, and as difficult as the decision is, you always fall on the side of protecting human life, especially a 3-year-old. Whether his mother's negligence or inattentiveness was the actual mechanism that caused this to happen, you have to actually look at the moment that you're existing in right then and there, and okay, what tranquilizer are we going to use? How far away is it? I mean, I don't even care. I don't care if it's in the handler's cabinet on the other side of this particular impound. You don't, and then what's going to happen if the gorilla becomes disoriented? Even if Harambe can be assumed to be, he's being gentle. What happens when he starts to lose his
Patience.
ability to
And I think it was he with a name like Harambe. I mean, if his name was Doug, that would have been tougher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had your chance. You're speaking out of order. So your answer is yes.
Yeah. I mean, I think that there's not much of a real discussion you can have
Do we
with
shoot
that.
Doug? Or,
There is a large memorial going on at the Cincinnati Zoo this morning,
Yeah.
For
honoring the
Harambe.
life of
For the
Harambe.
Harambe?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's not for the boy.
Okay. What is your answer, Dr.
I know I'm going to get a letter from PETA on this.
Yeah, well, they
But
already don't
I
like me.
agree with Terry. I think something had to be done, because if that boy had been killed or crushed, or that gorilla was so huge he could have just grabbed one of the limbs of the boy and done the smash on the concrete that was in that little moat, and that kid would have died, and that would have been a far worse thing. I wonder, now that boy's a teenager, I wonder if he's at the memorial.
But, you never know. See, I mean, the handlers. Okay, this gorilla, I'm pretty sure, had been in the zoo for a very long time.
17 years old.
The handlers were familiar with the animal's behavior,
His personality.
and with their level of familiarity, obviously they were looped into this decision, and they were. In spite of the best information that they had from being with Harambe for X number of years, whatever it is, that was the decision that was made. So
your turn, Raj. You have to
Yes,
answer.
I especially after I see, I'm surprised that they were as concerned about the baby, the small child. The child's very small, of not drowning in the water.
right.
I mean, when you see it in the water, that's spooky in and by itself.
Absolutely.
And so I think they did the right thing for all the reasons that you all mentioned. If they had not, let's say, take the other position, and they didn't shoot, and he wound up killing the child, they would have sued the zoo for negligence, for not doing enough to protect the.
Right. Well, that would have been, between the publicity and the cost of defending and the cost of possibly losing, that would have probably stuck a pin in the Cincinnati Zoo.
And they
right
would
there.
have been placing flowers
Right.
at the zoo
Did a lawyer
in memory of the little boy who they failed to shoot.
Right.
Not the boy, but the,
Right.
the gorilla.
Did a lawyer step up to represent Harambe in this? Did they?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Actually,
I'm just-
virtually every primatologist, I'm reading from Wikipedia here now, and conservationists wrote later that the zoo made the right decision, had no choice other than to do what they did under the circumstances. So I think a lawsuit for shooting the Harambe would not have probably been successful.
Well-
What I wonder is whether or not anyone asked Child and Protective Services to penalize the mother for negligence.
I almost have no doubt that there was at least an investigation, and there was probably parenting classes and all those really severe things like that had to come into play. But you can bet your bottom dollar that DCFS got involved in this one just because of the profile, the high-profile nature.
Unfortunately, in our society, if someone doesn't take responsibility for or watch their kids, they typically don't get in trouble. If your dog bites the neighbor, you could get fined and go to jail. But if your son
bites the neighbor
or beats him up, the parent's
right.
not responsible. And I think that's a problem in our society. We don't make the parents responsible for their children.
There is a good side, a positive side of this story, however. It is obviously some people were, concerned about the gorilla, and that's why today we have Gorilla Glue, named in honor of Harambe.
Harambe.
Yeah.
To stick
And,
together. That
yeah.
we all just stick together.
So we stick together.
That's lovely.
Yeah,
How about your-
I thought I didn't want to get too emotional.
No, that's okay,
over
Rich.
it, you know.
Thanks. Thanks for sharing.
And Gorilla is outselling super glue now. Because of Harambe.
Because of Harambe. Well, God bless.
And his likeness is on the label because I bought
That's true. It is.
Well,
a tube of it before I heard about Harambe.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't he the one that did the ads?
Oh, he's a paid extra.
Yeah,
No.
I think.
No, he was
No?
not alive. No, it was
Does he
his.
have a Screen Actors
It
Guild
was
card?
his brother,
Oh, I thought they looked a lot alike.
and his brother was named Harry.
Harry. Harry. Was Harambe a last name or
The
a
last
first
name.
name?
That's the last
Yeah.
name. Harry
But
Harambe.
Harry Harambe.
Yeah.
I think he's like Doc. He uses his middle name.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't
Big
like his
Harry.
He didn't like his first name. Okay.
Big Harry Gorilla.
Would he be related to Big Lou? You know who Big Lou is? That's the commercial in Chicago.
Yeah, the Big Lou's. He's only on number 2.
Yes. Here we talk about the loss. It was an illustration to remind people we do prefer protecting the lives of humans over animal.
Right.
They worried about Harambe, but we shoot how many deer a year during deer season? Starting with bow and arrow.
Not enough.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now,
Yeah.
we don't shoot enough
Your
deer.
crops, are they?
Yeah.
Still getting
Well, they've done less damage to my crops than my cars.
your cars.
Yeah.
Oh, because when you hit
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll screw
Do you
them up.
need a license to kill a deer on the highway?
No, you
No.
don't. But
You
I think there are rules that if you report it to the DNR, you can actually throw it in the back of your truck
Yeah.
and take it
Oh,
home.
you
I
can.
think it's yours. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can bag it. It's
Well,
yours.
there's one that's been on I-74 for 5 days now.
You can
Yeah,
have it.
that-
You can
that
have it.
might be.
Even making sausage out of that deer might be a little
Well, it's
dicey.
getting hot.
Hey,
I'll
Mike,
cook a little bit more, right?
it's already sausage. A little on the hairy side.
Yeah.
But, I will tell you, though, it does bother me whenever I see what's a fawn is a baby deer.
Right.
Is that?
Yeah.
And there's the one on I-74 just outside of Eastbury is a fawn. That does bother
Oh,
me.
yeah, the spots.
Yeah.
It's like Bambi.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
jeez.
yeah. I remember, I won't say which son it was, both are deer hunters. I couldn't shoot a deer, and my one son stopped on the way home to show me his first deer. And it was, looked at me like a big, I said to him, you shot Bambi. I mean, that's Bambi. This is a little deer. You almost have enough for a hamburger.
What I think's funny is these guys will go out at, before the sun comes up and climb in this
Oh, I know
tree
it,
and
yeah.
put pee all over the
Yeah.
ground and buy these expensive guns. Hell, I can do a show at 2 o'clock in the morning and drive home and hit about 4 of them,
Yeah.
honking my horn and flashing my lights.
And-
you don't need to.
Yeah.
And
You don't need to go through all that.
and you don't have to pee on the ground.
No, I don't have to be on the ground to do anything. I could bag 6 deer a year just driving home.
Yeah, I will tell you, however, that deer being hit by automobiles cause more than one bad accident.
Oh,
they are a danger.
You see some of the worst accidents, not so much from hitting deer, but people trying to avoid
Hitting a deer, yeah.
The rule is when you see a deer. No, I'm serious now. You're not
Hit it
supposed
straight
to swerve.
on.
You go
Yeah,
at it
yeah.
straight on.
Yeah.
Don't swerve. That causes more problems. No, that's true, Doc. That's,
You didn't mention hitting the brakes.
Well, no, you can hit the brakes. You can and you can
That's
honk if
that's
you
a
want.
good point.
But,
yeah. If I know Terry, he just says, "Forward, honey, put the pedal
Get
to the
her
metal."
good. Get her good.
Yeah, grit your teeth, grab the wheel, and smash the gas.
Get her good. But no, because you swerve, there's more accidents because of the swerving.
I
but
get it. Okay,
If you
understand.
honk, you get an extra point.
Yeah. How many of you put that alleged deer warning on the front of your
Oh,
car?
I do.
Does it work?
Well, I haven't hit a deer since then.
Oh, I had a deer. You mean the whistle, the deer
Yeah,
whistle?
the
I
deer
did,
whistle.
but problem, I put it on the back of the car, and I'm driving down the road, and there's like 200 deer following me.
Well, I mean, with the deer whistles, you go by certain parts of the forest and you hear, fresh.
That's where having your CB radio helps.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I guess, would it be appropriate to have a wolf whistle to get to scare the deer off?
Isn't that what the whistle is supposed to do? It's not supposed to
Well,
distract them.
But I don't hear my whistle going.
Put them on right. Don't put them on backwards.
Yeah.
It's like trying to whistle by sucking in.
Yeah. It just doesn't work.
Yeah. You remember your CB radio?
Oh yeah.
Was it dark at the moon?
C.W.
6th
McCall?
of June in a Kenworth pulling logs. Cab over Pete with a reefer on and a Jimmy hauling hogs. We was heading for Bear on I-10 about a mile out
Heading
of
for deer, he said,
town.
didn't he?
This is Big Ben, this here's a rubber duck, and I'm about to put the hammer on down.
Did you guys have a handle? Do you remember what your handle was when we had CB
I did
radios?
have a CB radio when you were living out in California, and I have no recollection of what my...
What your handle was?
Dizzy.
I think I had the Jolly Roger was my handle.
Yeah.
It's a dizzy.
What was
dizzy
yours,
moment.
Mike? The Happy Lure?
I think I was the guinea.
Yeah, the guinea?
Guinea, yeah.
And what were you, the pig?
Dizzy. The dizzy mobile.
Yeah. That's neat.
Yeah.
Those were the good old days. Had a lot of fun. I think the truckers still have some form. Anyway, let's get into the news, our final newscast of the day. We'll have Mike Dentino bring us up to date with some of the stories we're following, and I'm brought to you as a service of Morton Community Banks, 50 branches across Illinois, helping you out. Hometown banks, FDIC insured, so your deposits are safe and secure at Morton Banks. Look for the clock tower, and you'll know they have time for you. Are they the last remaining family-owned, employee-owned bank? I know CFQ is allegedly owned by
owner members.
Savers, but going back to the days of Southside Bank, owned by the Ward family.
Goodfield Bank.
Goodfield is
I think
employee
there's a
owned.
handful of.
I thought that's Morton Bank now.
No,
No, it is not.
no, they're not part of
Okay.
Morton. No,
Okay.
I know Bartonville, I think is.
I think so.
Yeah, I think they bought all of the area community banks, and that is employee-owned. I received, I had a nice conversation with Wayne Mennel. Do you know Wayne Mennel at Morton Community Bank?
No, I don't.
Okay, neat guy, and he gave me a great review and summary of Morton Bank, and they treat their employees pretty nice, according to what he said. So don't be sorry if you pull up to a drive-in at Morton Bank and you see Roger Monroe saying, "Good morning."
There's a little one, I think, in Washington that a little old lady
There's
owns.
Really?
It's, I think it's one
That-
of the
Is
last
she the little old lady that has that car for sale that you want to buy?
Yeah.
You know how many times you heard that?
Called Mom's Bank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't know. It's Washington.
Mama's
I
back.
think it's Washington.
All right. All right, let's move with the news.
Okay, Roger. Peoria City Council this week reminded everyone that they are eager to see construction of another entertainment venue in the city. The council approved agreements with Terra Engineering and Core Construction to begin development of a 5,000-seat amphitheater and festival park on the riverfront. The entire project will be funded by an $11 million grant from the Hengst Foundation of Washington. While the Heart of Illinois Fair is gone, the land isn't. The city last year paid $1.2 million for 70 acres at Exposition Gardens, with hopes a developer will construct up to 200 homes on the property. The city and Peoria School District have agreed to swap some land at the gardens at Richwoods High School. The city gets an access road to University, and the school district receives 6 acres near its bus parking lot. The district will use some of the newly acquired land for facilities building. In other council news, members approved a new 3-year contract with the company that provides shot spotter technology. It'll cost taxpayers $316,000, but Police Chief Brad Dixon says it's vital for the crime-fighting arsenal of the Peoria Police Department. A 2-vehicle accident at a university in Gift shortly before 10 yesterday morning sent 2 people to a local hospital. One of the vehicles went out of control and crashed into a vacant house. No word on the condition of the injured. Peoria police announced the arrest of 21-year-old O'Marvelous Blakes in connection with 2 shootings. The alleged gunman was grabbed by officers in the area of Lexington Hills Apartments this week. He's accused, armed with a Glock handgun, was on his way to Grand Prairie Elementary School with plans to shoot everyone and himself. However, the relative apprehended the youth and called 911 for help. Will County deputies searched the juvenile's backpack and found multiple loaded magazines, knives, gloves, and an accelerant. They cut the ribbon at the new Peoria fundraising headquarters of the St. Jude Children's Hospital yesterday at 1320 West Commerce Drive, just off Knoxville. A large crowd of supporters were on hand to remind everyone of the ongoing programs, runs, and other events to help families of children stricken with cancer. OSF St. Francis terminated its cooperative agreement with the National St. Jude Hospital, apparently deciding to go it alone. President Trump and his team are still trying to reach a peace agreement with Iran, but it hasn't happened yet. There's a ceasefire in place, but you wouldn't know it. U.S. forces shot down 4 Iranian drones in the Straits of Hormuz in what they called defensive measures. They also hit the launching site of the drones as the Iranians were getting ready to send yet another one into the air. President Trump went to the hospital yesterday for good reason. It was time for his 6-month physical at Walter Reed Hospital. He said he passed it with flying colors. After the 3-hour exam, the 79-year-old Trump said everything was perfect. And Roger, that's it for news at the bottom of the hour.
Now, check with the weather brought to you by Spoon River Home Health since 1993, providing home health care by caregivers who care. And that includes nurses, therapists, and home care assistants that are locally owned and operated. Spoon River Home Health, available 24/7 at 309-245-0723. And they are looking for more people because they're so busy. So if you have a nursing degree or a CNA, or you would like to become a CNA, they will train you learn more about becoming a part of Spoon River, and you can call that same number, 245-0723.
Sunny and warm today, Roger. High 86, overnight low just 57. Tomorrow partly sunny, 82. Saturday sunshine and 82-ish. Sunday 81, and right now it's 69. And Mr. Varnold, Mr. Weather, I don't know if he's going to call and tell me how wrong I was all morning.
No, that's tomorrow.
That's tomorrow?
Yeah. By the way, you said 2-ish. You know, remember when people used to say, well, let's get together what time? Oh, how about 7-ish?
7-ish.
I never understood that. And unfortunately, it's gone away. But what hasn't gone away is the ongoing conflict with Iran. And I want to ask, all three of you are very intelligent and aware of what's going on in the world and have an opinion about anything and everything. You all have a swath of knowledge, and I was wondering, and I don't mind saying, these peace negotiations, you know, you've all been involved in a conflict somehow, maybe with a neighbor or a co-worker or whatever, and you kind of draw a line in the sand and say, here's what the issue is and so forth. Well, they've done that with a 12-point plan, a 14-point plan, 16-point, and they say, we're getting close and so forth. The answer is either yes or no. What's so damn difficult about it? And the White House and Trump's negotiators say, we're close. What are you close about?
There's all kinds of nuances that are being negotiated. How they're going to inspect
why
their
does it
facilities.
take so long to? They've been saying this, Gene, for a week.
Because
2
they're
weeks.
Iranian, and you can't trust them. And they say one
Well,
thing.
then let's bomb the crap out of them.
I think we've done that already.
No, we haven't. We've only done part of the crap.
We bombed a pretty good part of the crap. How many mullahs have we killed? I don't know.
Not enough.
Not enough. Yes, maybe that's true. But
Well, what do you think? Do we continue to negotiate and draw this out further and further, or why don't we just tell the president, finish the job?
I think he will. I give him credit for trying to negotiate with these people
Idiots.
that are supposedly in charge now.
They haven't learned a thing. They continue to be
Right.
defiant.
That's part of the problem, though, is that their leadership, number one, is very fragmented right now. You're wondering, is the Republican Guard still exclusively controlled by the mullahs, or because the Army, it's not just all Republican Guard. You've got a regular Army, and the Republican Guard is the elite. So is the tail wagging the dog, or what now? And what's happening with the mullahs that are, nominally in charge, is they are not going to roll over and agree to anything that makes it looks like they capitulated. And the biggest capitulation is them now saying, after 40 years of, the evil West and this and that, and we're not going to bow to the great Satan, which in essence means we're getting a nuclear weapon, because if we have a nuclear weapon, you can't touch us. I mean, have we touched North Korea? And why haven't we? Well, because it's not worth, it's like trying to swallow a porcupine. Can a lion kill a porcupine? Absolutely. Does a lion go after a porcupine? Absolutely not, because it's not worth, the pain you're going to go through by having to do that. We have put this off for 40 years. Since Jimmy Carter was president, we've kicked it down the road, because the Iranians, like they say, they'll do one or two, they'll agree to anything, but they'll cheat, or they'll refuse to agree to anything and tell you to go away. And the problem they have right now is that, Trump's not willing to go away. And he says, I've got this big stick right here. I'm going to beat the living snot out of you unless you agree. And they're going, you won't. Because they're counting on, the liberals generally and the Democrats in particular to try to rein him in. And they figure, well, after the midterms, he's not going to have the Senate or the House, because everyone's going to be so mad because gas is, $4 or $5 a gallon. And that really, I think that's one of the things we're holding out for is let's see if we can damage
You're right,
Trump enough in the midterms that now his teeth are pulled because, now they're going to pull the War Powers Act out and they're going to do this, they're going to do that. The question's going to be when does Trump say, that's it, we're just going to beat the living snot out of any military target we can find. I think part of what he's been hoping for, and I'm hoping the one thing that we aren't aware of, is that the amount of weapons that he's putting on the ground for your ordinary Iranian that's sick of this nonsense and tired of living without power and living, the life of a refugee camp. I mean, they're not in refugee camp. Their whole country right now is kind of a refugee camp from what little bits that I understand. It's a no-win situation in a lot of respects.
Yeah, I don't know if you can. I think there's only one way to win it, and that is 100%. Because you keep in mind they're fighting a religious fanaticism, and that's not going to change. That I don't think you can negotiate. I don't think there's any give on that side.
No, there isn't. There isn't.
And it's going to be a tough one. I don't see where a negotiation is ever going to work.
And here's the thing, Ho Chi Minh, it was running under the same philosophical idea in that he knew he could not, in any way, shape, or form, defeat the U.S. militarily. But he understood, and I believe he said this at least once, if not several times, that he only has to be willing to lose one more person than the U.S. is, because he knew he wouldn't win the war on the ground in Vietnam. He won the war on college campuses in the U.S. And that's
what Iran is doing right now.
That's exactly what they're doing right now. And the only way this thing's going to resolve without Iran being flat and glowing is for the Iranians and the U.S. to come to an agreement that makes both of them feel like, okay, I won. I didn't capitulate to the great Satan. We've stopped Iran from building a nuclear weapon. And those are almost two completely, mutually exclusive ideas. But that's the only way it's going to really resolve.
Jen, what are your thoughts?
Again, I think there's a host of finer details that we are not being told that have to be ironed out. Do they have some right to close the Strait of Hormuz or take tolls to allow ships through? How much oil are they allowed to ship out? Can they drop mines into that area? Will they allow inspections of their supposed nuclear facilities? They've got apparently still some of this nuclear material, the enriched uranium, hidden somewhere. Do they need to allow inspectors to look at that or give it up? They want to start up their nuclear program again. They've made that actually quite
absolutely clear. Yeah.
And how much should we allow that? You can run nuclear power plants on uranium that's like 2% to 4% enriched, but you need 90% enriched uranium to run a nuclear chain reaction for a bomb. So we can allow them some nuclear enrichment, but it's got to be under observation, and they're not willing to allow that.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's all stuff that needs to be finalized. Is it going to be? I don't think so. I think there'll be more military action before something ends up being.
I hope so,
solved.
because two things I wanted to mention. First of all, I feel like this morning's program is Animal House. We started with the gorilla, and then we got the porcupine, and we talked about dog bites, and deer. And deer. And what animal is next on the agenda?
How about ticks?
Ticks. That subject ticks me off.
Is it worst season?
In parts of the country, there are suddenly more. There's the theory that Bill Gates is dropping boxes of ticks.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, Texas Lone Star ticks.
Now,
kidding.
listen to this.
Why?
Listen,
Yeah.
there is a disorder that is developed after tick bites where you become allergic to meat. He wants to get rid of meat eating.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, this is the new conspiracy theory.
I don't subscribe to that.
You heard this, right?
I'm more worried about fleas.
Yeah.
Fleas is what got me.
Farmers out in the West are
scratching
finding
under
these
my arm
boxes
for
that have been dropped from
days.
helicopters
Oh, no.
loaded with ticks.
Black helicopters.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
No,
And
I
they're-
don't believe
they're
it.
Texas Lone Star ticks.
Google it.
Oh,
Well, I
the
can Google anything, but I
Google
can't.
helicopters ticks in boxes, and you will see that there are
box.
reports of this.
Where did you hear
It
this story?
It says property of Bill Gates on it.
I heard it on the internet, Roger.
Oh,
It's got to be
well,
true.
it's true.
It's got
Right.
to be true.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what? They're dropping ticks.
Well, how does it stay? Because the Earth's flat, right? So now they drop. Oh my God! They're dropping.
Why are there boxes of ticks being found? You'll find it. Farmers are finding boxes of ticks on
Where?
their
Where? In the Midwest? Where is
I'll
this?
tell you where. Here, I'll have to
Off,
open it.
off 74 out there by Goodfield or where?
I tell you who's facilitating
Texas?
it all. TikTok.
TikTok.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, this is nuts.
So we have to worry
We're
about
getting crazy.
helicopters now.
This is crazy.
Yeah. Well, there's. I've got the video right now.
So what's a tick bite look like? Tell us if we get it, because you
Oh,
get
yeah.
what, Lyme disease, right? Is that
Well,
the
Lyme disease is one of the bacterial diseases that can be transmitted by ticks. This issue is that develops antibodies and cross-reacts with meat protein. Therefore, you become allergic to meat.
So you can't eat meat, or what happens?
You
Your
can't eat
throat
red
closes
meat.
up, or what happens? What?
Yeah, you can have allergic reactions and die.
You go into convulsions when someone passes you a hamburger.
So a tick bite, is that the bullseye that they say to
Yeah.
look for if you get a tick bite? Is that what the?
That would be the Lyme
That's
disease.
Lyme disease.
Well, that's only if you have Lyme
Yeah,
disease.
that's only seen with.
Well, how do you know you have a tick bite if you don't find the tick? How do you know if it's a
Well,
tick bite or
You may
mosquito?
not know if they bite you while you're sleeping, I suppose.
See,
Some of them,
look
they
for a
swell
rash
up.
like that.
They swell
Oh,
up.
that looks terrible.
They suck your blood, and you
Yeah.
have to pick them off of you.
And then their head breaks off, right, and gets inside. Don't you have
That's
to?
a chigger.
Don't you have to put gasoline on them and set them on
No,
fire or
no,
something?
no,
and then
no,
you
That's the
pluck 'em?
chiggers that burrow under the skin.
Well, I thought a tick did that. I thought you
No,
you
ticks
have to
are
be
on the
careful
surface.
to take a tick off because their head will pop off inside you.
Yeah, if
It's
you
possible, I suppose, yes.
you have to remove a tick carefully, and they tell you, not to burn it with a cigarette. I mean, if you touch a cigarette to it, they'll back right out.
Take a couple
Literally.
puffs first.
Cost
Yeah,
cost you $10 for a pack of cigarettes.
Okay,
to
well,
get a
take
tick off your arm.
Then take a joint.
Okay, all right. Well, that's different.
It's
Okay,
cheaper.
All right, see, it's more fun.
I'm not making this up. I don't subscribe to the.
So have
theory, but
you've treated
I've
tick
seen
bites?
ticks this spring already around our house, and I have never seen them before. So
Yeah.
again,
Was there a box in your
circumstantial evidence
backyard?
doesn't
Was
prove
there-
anything? But are there more ticks? They are being reported more
Really?
in.
I know several people who have Lyme disease, but they live in the country, and
I remember taking one of my sons to the ER when I worked at Methodist. He had a tick bite, and guess where? And the tick was still there. Where do you think it was?
In his crotch.
Right.
On his
On
left
one of his
The
testicles.
left one, right one?
I didn't pay any attention
people
to
always
the
bet
right,
their left one.
left. And
Right?
the argument was that you had to be careful that when you moved it, because you weren't supposed to leave. I don't know whether that's a myth or not.
No.
You didn't want to leave the head in
The head or the probe.
tentacle in the skin.
They
in the
have
skin.
like a little pincher that locks into your skin, yeah.
Yeah, I tried. They said heat was supposed to, if you put heat like a match,
hairdryer?
Like a match
that
head
it
on
would
it. Yeah.
back out.
Well,
But
So you said
I didn't want to fry my son's testicles.
No,
so
that would've been,
I tried, but he said that's. He let me know it was too much. So I'm trying to think. Miss Whittaker, do you remember her? She was the ER nurse.
Yes.
Catherine Whittaker, a wonderful, wonderful lady.
What'd she do?
And she was the ER nurse, and she got a pair of tweezers and kept pulling at the.
we need to know very little more about this.
And
So how is it?
if your son's listening, I'm sure he's not too happy
Yeah.
about us discussing
There
it
wasn't
on
any
the air.
swelling or anything, was there?
So, but she managed to pull it out without any injury to the testicle or
That's
the
great.
skin.
Well, that's
And
good to
I
hear.
praised her for it.
That's actually much better than the, when I was in the Navy, they had a cure for crabs that wasn't particularly fun.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, you'd shave half your testicles.
Well, which half?
Didn't matter. Then
Okay.
you set the other half on fire and stabbed them with a fork, and they crossed over to the bear spot.
Oh, great balls of fire.
Yeah. 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 Got any other medical stories for us? The only thing I remember about medical stories in the Army were the terrible movies that we had to watch. And they had a reason to show it, and it worked.
Short arm
For
inspection,
some of
did they
them.
call that? Did they? Isn't that what that was called in the
One of
Army?
the ships I was on, we were so small, we didn't even rate having a doctor. We had a corpsman, and that was it.
Yeah.
The old turn and cough.
Do you have any other medical stories you want to share with us?
I have a few, but we don't have a whole lot of time
We have
here.
a lot of time for that.
Well, at any rate,
Oh,
my final conclusion for the war, I say we need it in order for this to end the way it should end. Is a change of regime, because if the mullahs stay in power, they're just going to continue to hate us and do everything they can to get even. So you got to get rid of the mullahs. You got to let Iran become a democrat republic.
That would help.
They are obviously very resistant to that because they fear
That's right.
the public will retaliate against the IRG people who have just recently murdered 30 to 40,000.
Maybe
of
they
their
ought to retaliate
countrymen.
against the Republican Guard, because at this point I'm almost less concerned about Iran becoming a democratic regime. I'd almost be happy with another dictator in there if we can get someone who's not a religious fanatic.
Yeah.
Because religious fanaticism is what's driving this whole thing over the last 40 plus
You
years.
can't fight that. That's not winnable.
Yeah. No.
Well, you can't fight it. All you can do is try to eliminate it.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Well, quite a story. After checking my guns, I didn't identify which one. I had the great balls of fire, so I had the can attack me after the show. Anyway, hey, we had fun this morning, lots of fun. You've been listening to Animal House on WAZU FM 90.7 in Peoria, and also on YouTube. Yeah. I can't believe we're holding flowers, and we'll go for her around there. Yeah, you bet. Have a great day, everybody. Remember, God loves you, and so do we. We'll see you tomorrow with more Animal News.